the top in Pool B, and today they face off at Center 200. It never gets old for Kerry Galusha. Making a 12th appearance, the skip from the Northwest Territories brought in a new teammate, aiming for a spot in the championship pool. Casey Scheidegger's stay in Sydney started on the right foot, a win in the play-in game, clinched her spot in the field. Now she's followed that with 2 wins in a row. So it is wild card, Northwest Territories, draw 10 next. We are in Cape Breton on the Atlantic shore, and those lobster traps will be put to good use in a couple of months from now, I'm sure. We are at Center 200 for this year's Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Play began this morning with draw 9, all the teams in Pool A on the ice. Our featured game was British Columbia, Sarah Wark against Northern Ontario. Krista McCarville, Thunder Bay. Look at this shot she makes for a couple. This coming in 8, bang, run it back, and that'll get you your 2. This one actually goes to an extra, and she would go on to win it. McCarville out of Thunder Bay. Checking all the scores then, Northern Ontario with the win over BC. Alberta's win means that Chelsea Carey 5 straight. She's the first team to qualify out of the pool for the championship round. Nova Scotia win their first, and Manitoba beat Ontario. Rachel Homan drops her first. So Alberta now has qualified, the only undefeated team in Pool A. Look at the bunch up at the top of Pool B with the Territories, Wildcard, and PEI. And coming up, it is Territories and Wildcard. And on this Tuesday afternoon, we say hello, Canada. Welcome back to Sydney. Cheryl Russ alongside. So it is Scheidegger playing team against Territories. Kerry Galusha, who in the past we've seen has had some good runs, St. Catharines, for example, but this is a different looking Galusha.
Well, it is. I see preparation and I see desire, and you know, time is ticking down for Kerry Galusha. She's in her early 40s and she'd really like a chance at a pre-trials or at trials. So they're doing things differently. She's brought in an import, Brittany Tran at second, an all-star. They're practicing more, they're working with John Epping, they're playing more, and it's showing up in the results on the scoreboard and in the leaderboard.
Casey Scheidegger didn't have the best Alberta play downs. 3 strikes, she was out, but then she wins the play in, and it's helped. She looks different too.
No question about it, because it's her second year. Experience breeds confidence, and you can see the confidence there. They probably haven't curled any better this year, but this is what they were after, the Scott Tournament Hearts. Having that 1 year under their belts made all the difference. Look at the draw she made to win to get here, to beat Anderson to get here. And I think this type of team, defense wins championships, is no different in curling. They match up in this particular matchup against a draw team really well.
So when we come back, 2 3-win, 1-loss teams, it is the wild card team against the Territories.
Just like that. Count them up, Victor.
Count them up. 5.
And what a lovely shot from Casey Scheidegger.
The 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Scotties, Sponge Towels, Purex, and Cashmere. Proud sponsors of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts for over 35 years. The 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of curling Canada, by Home Hardware, Here's How, and by New Holland. #TogetherBlue.
So it is the Territories against Team Wildcard. Time to meet the teams now. It's brought to you by Home Hardware. Here's how. Carrie Galusha and her championship team hail out of the Yellowknife Curling Club with Shona Barber, Brittany Tran, and Sarah Colt. Team Wildcard are from Lethbridge Curling Club. Casey Scheidegger, along with Christy Moore, Jessie Hyen, and Carrie Ann McTaggart. Scheidegger winning the draw to the button, so she will have the last rock. She has the hammer playing the Yellowstones. Galusha has the red. Two teams at 3-1. Ready to play here on this Tuesday afternoon in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And to get us going, the Northwest Territories lead is Shona Barber.
We're in. Gotta move. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. We're in.
It's kind of a classic matchup, in my opinion. You've got the wild card that obviously they can draw. Casey drew the side of the button to get here, but they are a great hitting team, and whereas Galusha just scores a million points by putting rocks in play all over the place.
Yeah, Galusha is one of the highest scoring teams out here this week so far.
But in doing that, in putting so many rocks in play, you better, as a skip, be prepared to make some big shots, right?
You do. You have to make, because you're taking some risk, and they've given up stolen ends. They've given up 3 stolen ends already, Northwest Territories. So you have to be careful with the steals when you're putting lots of rocks in play. That can come at a risk when you don't have the hammer.
I threw this in practice.
Yeah, perfect.
Little going. Breathe go. Yep.
More consistent on the ice. I think the teams are starting to figure out where to put the broom, what kind of weight is the most workable weight out there, that you don't get rewarded for overthrows.
Pardon?
Let's take a look at the keys to the game. We'll start with Team Wildcard and Casey Scheidegger.
Well, hit it hard. That's what they do. They're so good at it. The mechanics, the deliveries are similar. They really are technically sound. So they're going to be a good hitting team. That's the advantage, I think, here. And claustrophobic, I mentioned earlier, Team Northwest Territories loves rocks in play. So let them do that, in leaving rocks around even. Trying to score the 2. What Galusha will do is try to score 2s at all cost and leave so many rocks in play. Just make sure they're in good spots. Make her shots that much harder.
Straight up here. You got it.
For Carrie Galusha.
Well, build on the hit ability. Carrie Galusha herself, we saw it in the one game versus Saskatchewan. Epping came out. She had a soft shot she was looking at, and he said, play the big weight for 3. She made it perfectly. She's 87% on her hits.
Wow.
So build on that ability. And then you look at Sarah. If we see Sarah smile, she's putting pressure on Carrie Ann McTaggart.
Little Hall & Oates reference there.
A little bit.
The keys to the game are brought to you by Scotties, Canada's #1 tissue.
I think so, yeah. I think that's real cool.
Well, Carrie Ann's just one of those players that, she'll rise to the occasion, and Sarah can do the same, but she's going to have to put some pressure and give her skipper a little bit of breathing room in the house as well.
I was asking about that, Russ, about those rocks in play around the edges, and it's something similar to those teams that play the ticks. You suddenly have rocks going to the edges. You're 8 foot and 4 foot are open, but all those biters there. So you better be prepared to hit the 8 or the 4, because there's going to be lots of rocks in play.
That's just it. And I think that's Carrie's style. She's confident drawing the 4 foot, so she doesn't mind rocks in play, but it can come up and bite her. I expect they could give up a steal or 2 in this game.
So here is the newcomer. This is Brittany Tran out of Calgary. Canadian junior title. She played with Jocelyn Peterman when they won the Canadian juniors.
Yeah, and you know who she played in the final that year? That was Manitoba. It was Shannon Burchard in the final that they beat them to win that championship.
Race good. Far roll, go. Good job.
Well, we'll see John Epping in a couple of weeks in the play-in game. He will play Brendan Botcher at the Tim Hortons Brier in Brandon. But here, of course, he is coaching this team. And so you say good afternoon, Kathy Gauthier. One of the things that Galusha has done is spend some time with him, more time. In fact, they've made 3 trips this year to the Leaside Club in Toronto just to work with him.
And she trusts him like no other. She said she's never had such an active coach. Last night, Carrie was playing a really tough raise for 2. John called the timeout, had her see a thin pick for 3. She sat in the hack and made it, and had said that every single time that he has called a timeout this week, they have scored multiple points. The other thing that he has taught them is that as you progress and become better, it is okay to be mad when you lose a game. And she was still talking today about the 3 she gave up to Jennifer Jones in 9, where she used to walk off the ice and say, well, it was a close game. Now she's mad because she knew she had a chance to win.
Well, that comes back to the accountability. He wants them to realize if you made the mistake, own up to it. And they missed him last year. There was a conflict with the Ontario Playdowns, and they struggled in Penticton. They only went 1-6 in the group play. One of the reasons also they brought Brittany Tran in, Brittany's experience with Jocelyn, when he's not around, she in some respects does his job. She's the note taker. She's the team leader in terms of getting them together for meeting, sitting down to discuss. So she's accepted some of that responsibility.
Yeah, and then on top of it, a great shot maker. No, that was a good pickup to bring somebody in, and that's just a sign of them building a team that wants to compete. And then adding all of the rest of it to the recipe, which is the work and the practice. Sports psychologists, they're actually working with a sports psychologist this year.
That's 2 on the other side. Yeah.
She said a funny thing about points. She said we've never paid attention to points, but we played 5 big events this year on tour, and we started watching points, and it's the first time for that team.
Not much less. Curling.
And so much now, I think, it's fair to say, in an Epping, or now in Susan O'Connor, of course, who you know well from your Olympic days in Vancouver. Not only playing the 5th role, but playing the coaching role, playing the manager's role, taking some of that stress off the players. You guys go play. I'll make sure that the bus is here, the car is here, whatever it may be. I'll do what a manager might do.
Well, this week is so overwhelming to start with, and Susan learned from the very best. Our coach, Dennis Balderston, was one of the best managers I know. He had everything on an Excel spreadsheet for the entire week, and even family time was planned. And then it just left nothing to chance. You didn't have to think as much. You could focus on curling, and that's all you wanted to be able to do when you get here.
I think we're 9. Down a little. Clean. Yes.
Little speed wobble.
Really hard. Really hard. It's
really
good. Hard.
And gets it.
9.
Doesn't hold the shooter.
I also think it's really critical for some of the coaches to have had the conversation. How do you want us to approach you when we call a timeout? Do you want a shot suggestion? Do you want us just to point out what you may not have missed? That's critical. When Carrie said that every time John comes out, they're successful, that's something to be said for how he's approaching them, and he's pointing out an alternate shot and leaning on her strengths.
Well, the one against Saskatchewan won of the game. It was that simple.
But again, just to be contrarian here, you cannot come out of your John Epping or Victor Schall, who's now coaching Rachel Homan, and come out with, say, a men's game perspective. You have to, whatever your idea is, has to fit the player, correct?
Right. And, he knows how great of a hitter Carrie is, and so I thought that was brilliant. He just leaned a little bit more to her strengths, and she made it. She was confident in it.
7. Lead Ollie. There goes Chris. Curling now. Get the curl, Chris. Just here. That's fine. Good cheese. Good pace, nice weight. 14-9. Have a girl. Good throw. Sweet. Good weight. Did you get a time on that? 14-9. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. Cool. Sliding there a lot. Fast. Now. Yeah. Just those 2 rocks. Yeah.
I think if you're wild card, maybe if you've looked at the stats, or maybe Susan's looked at the stats, but the one area weakness you see with Carey is her draw percentage. It was at 66% coming in. And so I think you get that in the back of your mind. How do we play for that? How do we take advantage of that?
Whoa, easy. Same weight, Sarah. It's a better throw. Yep, hard. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Keep on it. Roll the center. Go. Never mind. Good, Carey. Very nice. Yeah, that was way better. Yeah. It's good. Good job.
This will be dead straight here.
I think this will just run straight.
Yeah, I agree.
Go a little bit less. I think if we hit the yellow.
7-4 a year ago in Penticton.
Yep. Hold it. Whoa. Clean.
3-3 at their provincials.
Just clean. Good throw.
Triple knockout, and they were gone early.
Very nice. Great throw.
Up and down the sheet, we'll put a blank on the board here in the first.
Wild blueberries. Ever wonder where they come from? Wild blueberry country. These little guys only grow in forest barrens, like those found here in Atlantic Canada. They're never planted, only harvested. That's what wild means. They're better for you, with twice the antioxidants than cultivated blueberries. And they taste better too. Best of all, they're never far away. Year-round fresh. Nature's Wild Blueberries, from Oxford, Nova Scotia.
Here's how to top that meal next time it's your turn to host. Use the Curadore Sous Vide Precision Cooker. Just set it, submerge, seal and cook, quickly sear, then stare them down. Knowing the sous vide method locks in flavor and never overcooks or undercooks your meat. And bask in the glory of food war victory. The Curadore Sous Vide Precision Cooker. Only $129.97 and only at Home Hardware.
Oh, we got something going now here in this second after the blank in one. Once again, team wild card. Casey Scheidegger out of Lethbridge does have the last rock. She has the hammer playing the Yellowstones. Stone goes in. They go to the corner. Now they try to cover. So we're on sheet A. Team Canada, Jennifer Jones admits now they're not playing well. They lost 2 yesterday. And they'll try to get back on track against Yukon, New Brunswick, PEI. PEI tied at the top of the table. And Saskatchewan against Newfoundland, Labrador. All these games, these teams in Pool B playing just the one game today. It'll be Pool A teams back on the ice tonight. Well, you put the corner up, as you quite often say, Russ, for a reason, and around they go.
Yeah, roll it back.
Yeah, and that's the move, especially in this situation. The red one's not that scary. It's a long way away from the button off the center path, and the guard's so long, so it's not really a danger to leave that red one in there.
Yeah, just easy hook. This is a good path.
Get one buried, create an error, then work your way over to that shot rock.
It's good. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Down. Okay. Yes. 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 Wait, hard, Sarah, hard. You gotta go. Hard. Go. Roll it. Good, Brett.
Nice soft weight there. You know, in past years they would throw it pretty hard, and what we have seen this week for Galusha is they hanging around, the rocks in play. Good things can happen that way.
Weight's good. Yep. Weight's good. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. No, Chris. Whoa. Carry. Whoa.
Well, we told you Team Canada trying to rebound after 2 losses. What's that old saying? You don't poke the bear. And I think Team Canada and Jennifer Jones have been poked.
Well, she's line 2, maybe 3. So she's trying to run her own back on an angle to pick the one Yellowstone out for 6.
Well, that little in-off just played by the Yukon. She went right through the hole, right through the wickets.
Nothing.
What do you got? Angle it back. Oh, there you go. And now sitting time. No, not quite. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it's 5.
Yeah, it's a fistful. There you go. Wow.
1, 2, 3.
It was pointed out yesterday, of course, that last year had 2 days where they lost 2 in a row. Still went on to win the championship. But they are, they are not comfortable with the ice, the stones, and have yet to adjust. And she readily admitted it in the post-game interviews.
5, 6.
I think PI and New Brunswick that beat her made some shots too, and sometimes the opposition doesn't cooperate. Especially that New Brunswick game, I thought Andrew made a ton of good shots at the right time.
Finish. Go. Hard. Go.
Really good.
Shot, Jess.
Yeah, they just keep getting this just a little bit more buried. It's not going as hard to the wings as we've seen it.
Well, there you go. There is New Brunswick. There's PEI. They blanked the first, as do Saskatchewan against Newfoundland and Labrador.
Okay.
This is, as
This'll be
we
a
said,
little
a
Friday.
short
Yeah, but I think it'll be okay.
7-game round robin in the 2 pools of 8. So it wouldn't surprise me if teams in contention, top 4 will move on, might play a little tighter, a little closer game now because you sense it, you see it, you see the finish line and the potential.
On its own. Yep. You gotta hold the line only. Where?
This is why you see Carrie's team scoring so many points. They've chose to ignore the rock in the wings and go on the offense. She called this, though, for top 8 around that center guard.
Go, Britt. Go. Get something. Go. That's okay.
This is where the Team Canada New Brunswick game was last night, and that out turn, if you get wide enough, and there's a bit of a shelf out there, maybe a little wider than edge of 8, probably around middle 12, it just hangs forever. Get a little tighter, it'll wreck on that guard. It's a tricky little spot. This will move a bit.
Control. Whoa. Jess, go. You're just going to jam it. You're not jamming it.
Got them both. No, we'll stuff it and leave it for shot stone. So the territories are your shot rock. Just back edge, or the 4 foot.
Carrie, what's the weight called?
Just hack.
Okay. Do you want to throw a little more?
I like hack.
Board?
No, but maybe just a hair more ice for hack.
It's straight.
Okay, hack is fine. I'll throw that 12 like Brit through.
I don't mind board with here.
Sure.
This won't do anything.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you know, it's funny this again because we've been here. You've seen this, both of you. To your mind's eye, it's difficult. You really can't believe it's not going to curl, and everyone asks for a little bit more ice.
I do. It's a really tough visual to trust the skip and know you just got to throw it at the broom with the right weight. And if you adjust, then the skip doesn't get a good read for the next shot.
Sarah Colden. Avoid the jam. Roll it now. Will it sit down? Finally does, but it's popped out into the open.
Just about perfect.
Oh, those are the shots you need to see from Sarah today. Try and match up with Carrie Ann. Very nice.
I was in Whitehorse with my daughter at the Canada Winter Games, and Sarah was in it, and they asked to have a photo. We got chatting away, and she said she was in her first Canadian Junior that year. And I said, "Really? That's fantastic. Do you have any more years? You don't. How many more years do you have? 7."
Yeah, she's 14, I guess. Yeah, eight times. 8 times the Yukon champion, junior champion.
Bit firm, Carrie.
Sarah Colton.
Pretty close. Hair roll under, I think is more aggressive, yeah.
So just
Just a little floppier
easy
weight.
control.
Okay.
Like 10-5, 11-ish. That's about what theirs was.
Gradual curl
Yeah, I
here.
don't think this should do a whole lot. Maybe a little bit curl at the end, hug line in.
Yeah, I think you'll get a bit of finish. What's your perfect roll spot?
Nose is
Nose,
fine,
okay.
or a hair
Okay.
over your way, Shauna.
Could try to roll buried here.
You got it, Carrie, right up.
I guess the danger is if you roll too far, then Team Wildcard locks on that back one.
Weight's good. Just clean.
Whoa, easy.
Little solid. Close.
Skip Stones here in 2, Carrie Galusha. No roll? Oh, it does. Rolls just towards that guard.
10:06.
That's just her hitting ability.
Good.
She's been on fire.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, Britt.
Good sweep.
Hack weight. Can't roll under. Just easy hack though, like Carrie.
I think hack is just fine.
Just hack.
Yeah. Okay. Hack is great.
Okay.
Might even be a little tight
Just
for
three
hack.
quarters.
Because we had only this much more for control, right?
Yeah.
And Carrie rolled out.
Yeah.
Could be 2 seconds different weight.
Yeah.
You trying to roll underneath and grab the forefoot?
Yeah, and it's, we talked about how straight it is, but I think somewhere in here it's going to go a bit.
Yes. Let it go.
Oh, you got to go. So Christy Moore, Jesse high in 2. The Taggart calling line. Okay, by one. Sneak it by this one too. They did. Roll it underneath. And they will sit back edge of the 4. They are the shot rock, but out in the open.
Oh, they came awfully close to ticking.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this has been the struggle on this ice for all the teams is that there's a fine line to where they sit or where they go, and it can be changed based on release. Rushing can change it. There's so many factors. I think by the end of this week there's going to be skips with a lot of headaches. It's thinking ice, right? You have to really pay attention.
That's why the skip should be paid double.
I'm not sure the rest of the team would agree.
Yeah. I like that. My rocks are definitely curling a hair more than they have been. So,
Okay.
But you're right, Carrie Ann jammed one there because it didn't curl, about 6-7 inches wider than that last one by Casey, and then away it goes. You move the broom in and then it's gone.
So you have to really be paying attention.
Queen, is it our tighter? Yep.
a little faster.
Yep, hard! Yep, hard!
Shanna Barber, Brittany Tran.
Yep.
Maybe they got a little roll too. Oh, and they do. Very nice.
Boy.
Gets it underneath. And now it's a draw full to the 4 against 2.
Well, build on that ability.
2 perfect rolls.
And look at the roll she had. That wasn't light either. That was pretty firm weight. Perfect roll.
I didn't want to jump it, but
That would have been fine every other game.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty perfect.
Now there is that guard out there covering the 8-foot. Does that just get in your eye, or is it a problem also for the draw?
I think it's far enough away that it would be a disaster to actually hit it. You'd have to be pretty wide.
Final stone facing 2 with her last.
Okay, line's good.
Some early pressure on Casey Scheidegger.
All you. Where? Line. Line's great. All you.
Jesse Hyen
Yep. Hard line.
closest to the stone.
Hard.
Christy Moore out in front. McTaggart calling line.
Good. Yep.
Need 4.
Whoa.
Gotta
Take
go,
a little
Case.
rub. And here you go. Right to the pin, and it settles down. For the single here in the second. Pressure draw for Casey Scheidegger. To the 4-foot to pick up the 1. So for the first time in the game, it'll be the team from Northwest Territories out of the Yellowknife Curling Club, skipped by Kerry Galusha, that does have last drop, playing the Redstones. The center guard goes up, Galusha comes in. Now that quiet tap.
Okay, I'll get out.
As we play lead rocks.
Here less.
This Territories team should get the vote for most improved. They really should. They like the work they put in, bringing, listening to John. They've had some practices with John. You were saying 2 or 3 times. It's everything's better. The brushing, the communication, the everything, and the skippers make a lot of shots.
Well, and I'm sure, just knowing Brittany, that when she agreed to come to this team, part of that agreement would be that, okay, I'll do this, and I'll do this traveling with you and everything else, but we have to all agree to put in the time.
New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PEI stones, and that's what's facing from New Brunswick and St. John, Andrea Crawford.
And she's not even trying to get shot on this, Vic. She's supposed to be throwing a very soft weight, is what she called, to the second shot stone that is exposed to give up 1 in an end where nothing has worked.
Playing Suzanne Burt out of the Charlottetown Curling Club. Uh-oh. And look at that.
Jumping.
5 steal, 5 Prince Edward Island in the second.
Pile of weight on that one.
The only good thing about that is it's the second end.
You got a positive out of that?
Well, you've got time to come back. I'm trying to find something. I was trying
Could have been a 6, maybe.
Could have been a 6.
Way to go, Cheryl.
And we have 8 more ends.
No, you're right, though. Especially with the 5 rock roll, there's all kinds of time.
You just have to convince your team of that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the problem.
Up a little, then you can. Pretty close. She's got to come back. She set it back. Go, Shona.
That's Scotty's necklace
Shona,
dangling around her neck. That's what you get when you become a Scotty's participant.
It's amazing what that means, that piece of jewelry. Most of these players for the first time don't take it off.
That's just a great touch by Scott. It's unbelievable.
Do we just go for the double? I think so.
She wants control hitting ball.
I really like the double. They're in the 4-foot. We'll be half buried if we make it.
I know. Can be line 3.
Do you like the double?
I get what she's getting at, though.
We can. It's pretty flat.
It's really flat.
Okay, whatever you see, Case. It's probably like, I think you go under if you hit half. Okay, whatever you see.
This is fine. Whatever.
Yep.
I like Carrie Ann McTaggart's approach with Casey. You know, she throws something out there because she's not down at that end.
Yep.
Waits for Casey to respond and then lets her go with whatever her final call is on it. It's just throwing out the options, not trying to confuse the situation.
You nice, Skip, don't you think, too? Sometimes you might play a little bit different strategy than the rest of the team because of how you're feeling yourself. You might feel like hitting that day. You might say, I don't want to be drawn against 3.
No.
Thin and all the way through. Well, after giving up the 5, UConn trying to scratch their way back in here as we get ready for the final stone. From Whitehorse, this is Nicole Baldwin.
On Jennifer's final stone, she hit a stone in the wings and rolled behind, so lies 2. Trying to run her own stone back.
Oh, really
wow,
did well.
Very nice. Makes the double. Doesn't keep the shooter, but still, that's a pretty nice 1 considering what she was facing.
Yeah, you gotta go. We're at nose right now. Whoa. Okay, it's a little less weighty.
Yeah.
Good throw. That was a better throw.
Yeah, it looked really good on
It's a little less weight.
Yeah.
Back-to-back blanks. So Newfoundland and Labrador still with Last Rock as they play in the 3rd against Saskatchewan.
I was bored last time.
Yeah.
Trying to make this hit and roll in behind those. They're staggered. There's a long guard. Pretty tough to get rid of this.
Big scrub now, high and Moore. Get by the guard. Get by that one. Oh, no. Well, they just ticked their own. Still managed to get the stone. Sitting now, second shot. Top edge of the 4.
Good sweep. Great way.
Oh, that was fancy.
Down there.
See, this is almost, it over curls anymore. It goes over top that shot stone. Instead, just redirects it.
Kicks the yellow in the open. That could have been a disaster.
Firm, weight's a little solid. Pretty close. Weight's good. Really close. 11, really close. Go, Britt. Go, Brittany. Go a little bit.
Sarah
Go a
Colton.
little bit. Go a little. All you got.
Brittany Tran.
Roll.
Oh, boy, I tell you, that close to being right underneath.
11. Good.
I just love the weight choice. And so, you know, we saw that with Saskatchewan, 11 weight. We see it with BC. They're throwing that down weight more so, that 11. If you've got the broom in the right place, you can do a lot more with it.
Nose isn't bad. Okay. Got a little bit of air. Even a little flop. Well, no, that's not very good. Push that there.
It's not terrible.
Huh?
It's not terrible. I think the nose is better.
Gotta replay this. Whatever you like. They're both there. Board. Couple feet more.
What do you think about this, Russ? I mean, the options there, you punch the yellow a little bit out, so you're sitting a little, 2 of them in the open, or you bang it right on the nose.
I think it's the right call because that's a dangerous stone, but you're kind of handicapped where you can roll. You roll out wide, you're not close enough to probably go on the scoreboard. But if you roll tight, you could set up a double. If it stays better than that red one, that's really good. That was the dilemma.
Okay. Sorry, Carrie. I thought it looked like the same throw, so I thought it was going to go nice again, but I misjudged that.
We watched with Andrea Crawford missing that shot by just overthrowing a little bit. It really makes you look silly, this ice, doesn't it? If you're just the difference between backline and hack, it could be a foot of curl.
Off this?
Does that help us?
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Could you, like, board?
Like, if this has to go out, though.
Yeah. Like, do you like board then?
I
like that. Or we just play this, I think.
But closer in, we'll get
Yeah,
some
either's
curl,
fine.
I think.
I don't know that that's the easiest shot. That I like hitting the open yellow.
Mm-hmm. That's really tough to throw weight at it, isn't it?
It is.
You could tap it to the button maybe, but that's not good
I
enough.
think if you make it, that'll be second shot. Like, this will be shot, this will be second, and we'll be third and fourth.
Yeah, which is not bad.
But, like, do we need to try to get second shot now?
Then do they play that?
This is a good setup shot. I mean, yeah, they might tap it.
I almost think we have to get rid of this.
I mean, they're just going to hit this. Like, does it look good down there for you? Like, to throw board weight at it?
Yeah, I wouldn't throw any more than board.
We can even play it thin.
That's what I was wondering. Do we ever play it big and get them both? We might lose this.
Yeah, we could throw normal.
I don't think we'll lose that with board. There's no way.
No. If we played it, like, thin. With
Oh,
more weight.
like with weight.
Yeah.
Do you want to throw more weight?
We can throw
Or
like
even
control. Because
I think
can
it's
see
up
that
to you.
much
If
of
you
it.
can
I can
see
see
that,
that
then
much.
I think we play
It might be easier than playing board.
Okay. Do you want to throw control?
I think just control.
Okay.
They're starting to make it too complicated, I think, Cheryl. You start throwing some weight here, you could knock that thing right that way and not move the yellow far enough.
Just control here, Shona.
It's kind of an awkward angle. Like,
Easy control.
Yeah, I
I liked your call.
I like the hit and roll on the outside yellow.
Just be patient.
I can see all they need to.
They're certainly not wrong. I just think this is a tough shot.
Right up, Sarah. You got it.
No.
9-5.
No.
Not a lick yet. Trying to help it over is Tran. Got anything? And there you go. That's what you talked about, just chipping it right across the face.
Yeah, are we second, third?
I think we're there.
These two are close. I think it's red, but
okay. Still like this.
Okay, I like it
and
too.
I think we go right
Definitely
here
red.
because then she jams the double.
Sure.
Probably.
Okay, so you want to rip the double?
No,
but I think this is good potential
Yeah.
here. Okay, so sorry, half?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Both teams, Cheryl, coming in at 3 wins and 1 loss.
Well, I looked at Carrie Galusha, just all the work they've put in and what it's meant to this team. And you can see in event their hammer efficiency over Casey Scheidegger's team, almost 10% better. Force efficiency, 5%. And on tour this season, 63% wins for Carrie Galusha's team. And that comes from all the preparation and the work that they've done. Better numbers than we saw last year coming into this event and during.
There's on tour record 20 and 12 this year. Won something close, just over $8,000. Skip Stones, Casey Scheidegger.
Jesse! Whoa! Jesse! Real close. Go, Chris. Go, go. Okay, good. Okay.
We go there, they'll play that, but I don't think we have a choice right now.
No, we don't.
Or, I mean, we
can try that, but then
it's
it's still hard to get the 7 out.
We just board 8.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not hitting it.
Just try and board weight. You can see the guard's long, so you're going to get some movement past the guard.
And perfect roll. Behind. Okay.
She made it last end.
Let's go, Carrie.
2 great
Twice.
rolls. Yeah. 2 perfect rolls.
Yeah.
Well, we've had blanks in the first 2, and now Newfoundland Labrador facing 4 with her last. This is Kelly Sharp from St. John's.
Well, the big shot made on Robin Silvernagel's first when she made a double to lie 4. And it was a freeze from Kelly Sharp that did not curl and was open that was picked out. And so this is a draw.
D-line.
Needs 4 foot. Facing 4.
Wow.
Right.
Goodness. And it's a steal of 4 for Saskatchewan.
Big point day.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's
yes.
I mean, the 5 scored with last rock by Team Canada, 5 stolen by PEI, 4 stolen by Saskatchewan. The police are at the door.
But they're looking for you.
Okay. 5-finger lift again. Wow. Got to go back a couple of years.
Just clean.
If you're wondering, that steal of 5 is one off the by PEI is one off the Scotties record. Anne Merkler, an Ontario, stole 6 against Quebec and Janique Berthelot back in 2000.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's good. That's good. Good shot. Good throw.
Almost.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, no double.
Yeah.
Overroll was better than underrolling.
Yeah.
Shoot. Oh, good throw.
Yeah.
High 5 on hit and hack. Wait.
Yeah, now we know what comes up.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just was horny for the roll.
No, it's good.
I think you've changed the shot, and they haven't had as much success.
Yeah.
Sarah Colton threw down here, overthrew it, I think, and it tracked, pushing Carrie to a new spot.
Right.
And she'll try and keep her weight down a bit because you have to stick around.
Stay close. Yeah. You got it. Carry it up.
So 2 for sure, very close for sitting 3 is Scheidegger. So final stone.
Closer to half. Back line half.
Carrie Galusha.
No. Little solid. No.
Just that shade extra weight. You got to be careful.
It's coming
Again,
down.
Tran Just taking that leading edge now, pivoting around. Barber joins her. And that's very nice.
Red, yeah.
One it is. So 2 pressure shots by the Skips. We're tied at 1.
Nice throw.
Fourth, and it's
A little curl this way, I think. Yeah.
Scheidegger out of Lethbridge that once again has last rock. They have the Hammer playing the Yellowstones.
And Shona Barber off Northwest Territories just struggling with the feel. She slid in on her first one a couple times and then tried to throw a tight guard and hogged it. So a couple of freebies for wild card. They set up corner and then go around it.
the roll. Oh, never mind. I'm watching it. You're that good. I panicked on that a little bit. Sorry? You're that good. I just panicked a bit.
Well, let's check in on the team that is also 3-1, Prince Edward Island. Of course, they picked up the steal of 5. Now this is the final stone for New Brunswick, trying to inch their way back. Andrea Crawford.
Well, she has an opportunity for 2 with a draw here on Suzanne Burt's final stone. Tried a cross-house double, only got 1. And so Andrea is lying 1, needs full 8 foot for the second point.
Against Prince Edward Island, as mentioned, coming in at 3-1. As Suzanne Burt out of Charlottetown looks to go to 4-1 for only the second time in her career. This now a 10th appearance. The other time was her very first in 2003, right out of juniors, when she went all the way to the semifinal, ended up winning a bronze medal. So that's quite the return for her after a couple of years away from the game, Suzanne Burt.
Is it ever?
Both those teams, New Brunswick PI knocking off Jones yesterday. Pretty good day for the East.
Halfway. You got to cross center a little. Line's nice. Yeah, you got to get it over, Sarah. Cross center a little. You got to go. Keep going. Still sliding a bit. Go, go, go. Hard. Go. You got to go a little more. Whoa, you're good. You're good. Whoa. Good. Good sweeping.
Well, Team Canada, after losing those 2 yesterday, back on the ice, just the 1 game, scored the 5 in the first. Yukon, Baldwin replied with 1. Once again now, Jones with her last in 3.
And she's looking at a double for 3 here. On Nicole's final stone, she hit and rolled shot, but she did group her stones. And so there is that double if she can make it for 3.
And will kill her own, but there's a couple more. 2 it is, 7-1 after 3.
A little higher would be good. A little solid? Yeah. Good weight. Felt good here. Yeah, I know. It's just the same. Yeah.
2 pretty good corner guards here for a wild card.
You got it.
Just can't get one buried there.
Easy slide.
They retouched the rocks this morning to try to get a little more curl. But I don't see any more curl.
No, I don't see any real difference. Same ice that we've seen for the draws.
Tight. Starting to come down. Whoa, 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 then whoa. We can go. Gotta cross center a bit, but it will go.
I'm just trying to throw another guard on this.
Too tight. It's tight. Yeah, go, Britt. Gotta go. Gotta go a little.
So in, we use this analogy all the time. You take a dull skate blade and you sharpen it, and that's basically what they've done here. Some of the stones need to be sharpened up a little bit. So Dave Merklinger and his crew do that, and then all the teams are informed, we've done this, and then everybody's good with it.
And then it's a balancing act. Once the rocks are a little sharper, then they will take a little bit less of, when they clip the ice right after it's pebbled, to clip a little bit less off to counteract that roughness, and it's a balancing act. As the rocks smooth out, they clip a little more, and they try to keep it the same all the time, because the rocks start to straighten out as the week goes along.
Don't know why we changed turns. Same weight, or are you like a foot less?
I think it was the provincial Scotties in Ontario that they had to do it 3 times to the rocks, because they texture them. They give them a little bit more grab on the ice, and teams just are so used to that amount of curl.
A little bit more positive.
Whoa, then. Real tight. More rotation, just leave it.
The throw was way more positive.
Top 12 right now.
Okay, no. You're going to have to go, I think, even if we're tight. You're going to have to go, Britt, even if we're tight.
They'd like it to stop right here.
Okay, yeah, good. Good, Sarah.
Pretty good, not in the rings. That's the one thing you didn't want.
Well, the one plus here is they've successfully drawn the play to the middle.
Oh, I think you just threw it more positive and it ran better.
When I
Well, Kurt's got 2 choices. You can go around that.
I think you
kind of like that.
I do too.
It looks like you can.
Yeah.
Which turn?
It'll be close. go.
Probably the out turn would be, you've got a little more space with the out turn than the in turn. Whichever one you know the best.
Yeah.
9-5. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought you wanted to make that. No, you can just roll on, yeah.
It's tight enough, and that's why
Yeah, I
they
like 10.
Northern Territories tried to stay a little bit higher because they didn't want to leave this opportunity to roll on and roll behind the corners.
Time ticking down. Both teams given, of course, their 38 minutes of thinking time. They also have an additional 2 90-second timeouts to use.
Her weight was not up. It was barely bored.
Miscommunication?
Weight was just bored.
Yeah, it's always, I don't know if there was too much ice that Casey put down because they said the weight was good. It wasn't overthrown.
I can hear though, she's just gonna, well, I don't know, what will she do? Will she hit that or will she, I don't see her drawing.
No. If you stick out this side of hair, like she can't double and roll behind cover or anything. Just put it there. Let her nose it, we nose it. If she misses a double, we guard it.
That's curious. Is that knowing your opposition?
Speed's real nice.
Saying I don't see her drawing.
Mine should run for a while.
Okay.
I agree.
Let's quickly drop in on Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, and Labrador after Saskatchewan stole 4 in the third. Final stone coming up from Newfoundland and Labrador's Kelly Sharp.
Well, she's facing 5 on her first one, tried to open up the front, but in the process of doing it, removed a stone of hers in the house that was third shot. And that is why there's so many red. And on her final stone, Robin Silvernagel guarded the shot stone. I don't know that she can get shot and tap it back far enough, but she can certainly limit it to 1.
Well, the shot stone is right on the lid, covering the pinhole.
Where are we? Go if you have to. Line's good. Just tee, guys. Just tee. Oh, just tee.
There it is.
Really nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah. We'll give up the steal of 1.
Good call.
Okay, weight's okay.
Line's good.
Yeah. You gotta go line.
Kalusha in her first.
Yep, line.
You gotta go line.
Hard. Full 4, yes, hard.
It's there. It's full 4.
Yes, get it by, get it by,
Perfect to get it by.
Right. Keep going.
And around they go.
It's probably the hard way to do it. Nice throw. Tap that.
That's always the dilemma. That's just a great curling shot. It might set up a potential steal, but you could have even gone open side and kind of guarantee the force.
I didn't have a.
If the double's made now, it's probably a blank.
When I
Blank
wasn't
end.
I was just kind of letting it go, so then we get more curl out of it.
Yeah. I agree.
What would you have done there? I don't mind the come around. It was
No, I liked it.
yeah.
In turn.
This double still has to be made.
Should come up a hair.
What kind of weight are we throwing?
Solid 8.5.
I think the problem with where the top 12-foot stone is you could risk even leaving a double in behind. Where are you going to go with your second one? That's probably the trickier decision.
Other way, yeah!
Casey Scheidegger.
Whoa! Shoot her, Jeff! Hard
Got them both. Yes, she does. Now where's this roll? Getting over to those corners? Not quite.
Nice shot.
Come on, now you can roll and possibly get a force out of it. Use those corners now.
Yeah, it's a good throw.
Yeah, nice weight. Thanks. Came up a bit. I was like hoping we could.
Such a strong hitter.
To the guards. But very optimistic. Yeah, that was probably a little optimistic.
Yeah, feeling better about their game overall, having struggled at the provincials.
So we get a force here.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, even just this season was a struggle for them. They just weren't consistent. But they're a team that chooses, they don't play a lot of events. You think, you look at Northwest Territories played 5. Casey and her team only play 6 or 7. Just family and time commitments doesn't allow.
Clean.
No. That was 9-5. No.
Clean it. Yes.
No.
All right, Brittany Tran wants to jump this. And now it needs to hang around. Spin back. Oh, it just does. Looks like it's hanging on.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so.
What was that, Sarah?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
9-7. 9-7. Pretty good throw. We're real solid. No roll.
Do you want to give a little more negative?
What do you think it'll do?
I
think it's going to fall the whole way.
A little bit less care. Yeah.
Wow.
Even if we know
These
we're
are some
not
of the
in.
paths we've talked about where you get some different. This is the ledge we've spoke about way out wide where it's tending to actually fall a bit towards the boards, but then you move that broom over another foot towards center and you'll get some curl, a lot of curl.
Yep. You got it. Hard. We gotta go, Chris. Gotta go. Hard. Go, go, go. Hard.
Stay with it all the way. Got it. And we'll sit right there. Tied at 1-1. Well, there's a snow in the forecast. They say big Atlantic storm coming towards Sydney, possibly 15 to 20 centimeters of snow on Thursday.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. But today it's just about low freezing. Winds are up after a beautiful day yesterday, a holiday here. Everyone's back to work as we are here, back to work, playing 5 in this 1-1 tie. And after that blank, once again, it is the wild card team out of the Lethbridge, Casey Scheidegger, that does have last rock. She has the Hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Yeah, I'm kind of like going around.
What do you like? Double peel's pretty easy.
Or we guard ours, but
Not
then
that
maybe
easy.
double peel.
What?
think she's
You like
calling
it?
a tick, but I think there's some other options. You could sit
Yeah.
two, you could guard your...
It's fine.
Yeah, that's the last thing you'd want to do is a tick. I guess if you tick and roll over, guard your own, but that's so hard to do. You could draw around. They're pretty long, or just split the rings.
Yeah.
Because that's an easy double later if you do get into trouble.
Slow then. No, I put it back. No.
Post a hat.
No. Yeah, hard, Jess.
You want to make noise, though.
Hard, buddy. Hard, 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 hard.
Okay, Chris.
I didn't hear anything.
Straight as
No, it's very...
Great.
No noise.
Besides the
No.
one over here.
So
Yeah.
close.
I thought that we just suddenly got quiet.
We were waiting for noise.
I hit the hack and it wasn't that noisy.
No.
I don't like that call. You know, you want to generate a 2 here. The 2 reds aren't that dangerous.
No, and and they're set up for a double on top of it, so...
Yeah, line. Sarah, talk to me.
Hey, we're top 4.
Okay, you've got room. You've got room. You don't need it to curl. You don't need it to
keep
curl.
it straight, Shona.
On its own. On its own.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
On
Leave
its
it.
own. Let it
whoa.
die.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Keep talking to me.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Good.
So a really good record so far, obviously at 3-1 for Carrie Galusha, playing a team wild card now, and 2 of 3. If you take 2 of these 3, you're in. And moving on, as players now in this second year of pool play are looking at this event in 3 sections. You play your
It's like really thin. Like,
initial round robin. Hopefully you get to the championship, and then you qualify for the Page playoff.
Whatever
4
you see.
wins a year ago managed to get you into a tiebreaker, and
If you don't see
5
that
would
one,
get
then
you
answer
through.
this.
And we know already that the one team in is Alberta.
No, it's fine. I don't.
So again, looking ahead here, if you're Scheidegger and the wild card team today against the Territories, New Brunswick. We saw New Brunswick beat Team Canada yesterday, and then of course the Canadians are their last game. So always a difficult game against the defending champions.
Just funny call again. You could see that back rock. You could sit 2.
Well, do you remember what she said yesterday? Last end, Galusha, in talking with Colton, said about Scheidegger, she's not going to draw. She's going to play the hit.
No, she, and you know what? That's probably what's dictating these calls. Is she just doesn't seem confident with having to hit that 4-foot yet.
Maybe, yeah.
So here you go. So anything,
Line's a little.
you're always playing the up weight.
Tight. Halfway.
Well, that's just it. If you play that soft weight once in a while, like you could have there, the draw weight is there.
I'm thinking it might
At this level, you can't afford to let the other teams have some what I call freebies, free shots like this one. You know, this forces you to a tougher one. And if your shots become hard enough, you're not going to win.
Yeah, Casey's normally she's got a plan, she sticks to it. She seems very hesitant, and it could be confidence out there and not uncertainty on the ice.
Mine came in there nice around the guard. Like when I got by,
That
it
one
was
might be
really
easier,
nice.
but I like that one better.
How much
Half
you got in the
weight.
top one? Not much.
Half?
I feel like you
not
can,
even a quarter.
Oh, okay. I feel like you can get to nose though the top
With
one
hack?
here with hack. I do.
I think Christy adds some confidence for the thrower. She's very positive.
Hard, Chris, hard. Hold it. Hard. Hold it hard.
Christy Moore. Got it by. Oh, they did. Great brush.
Nice. Atta girl.
Atta girl.
And rolls it away just to the outside, so it leaves that for the possible run back.
Yeah. Great sweep.
Okay, so it's pretty quick.
Hard to believe you could nose it.
And Christy even said that. I'm pretty certain we can get to nose.
Halfway.
Make them play the hard.
I like
a
hair more ice
down.
than I threw.
Yeah, this is more. I want to get that seam extension I gave
But they
last
played the
time.
defensive shot by running those front ones, taking out their own, and now their shots are harder.
Yeah, there was a couple shots in there. The opportunity to sit two, I would have taken that all day.
It's really
perfect
tight
with her
again.
draw, Sarah
That's
Colton.
hot.
I think hold it out there.
It's not, it's tight. It's not in.
Hold the line,
Line's
hold the line.
pretty good. Can you leave it? It's
Well,
halfway. You gotta leave it, Britt.
Yeah, I was just trying to hold it out there.
That's good.
Sit.
Well, they were in a hole early, down 5, of course, but UConn hanging in there, Kathy.
Well, they are, and really generated. Caitlin Laws was making a run-back attempt and got the guard, but missed the stone in the house. And UConn did a good job of replacing it. And Jennifer unable to roll on her final stone, so it is an open hit for 2.
Okay.
And there you go. So picking up 2. You're still down by 4, but again, 5-rock rule. That happened early. Who knows what will happen the rest of the way, but you just keep chipping away.
No.
Boy, draw weight hasn't not a strength of Carrie Ann today.
Okay.
Well, back to what we just said, though, you keep throwing those. It's tough to have feel.
I don't mind coming around it. Yeah. Like it's pretty high.
Top back.
Nice opportunity now.
If you're short, that's okay.
Yeah, because you see where that yellow rolled. Now wild card can't even play the tap on that yellow red.
Top 4. Might be a little hot.
Pretty close.
Not a lot of rotation.
Sarah attends the University of Waterloo, a master's science student.
Top 8.
No. Okay. Okay. Thought you threw that pretty close.
Yeah, I just feel like you got to go.
Well, here again, you know, your PEI, you've stolen 5, you give up 2, and again, PEI's in some trouble.
Well, they are, and they're actually fortunate because there is an opening to get through. She was facing 3 on her first, got 1, and Andrea was going to play a guard, so there would not be access to the forefoot. New Brunswick had a timeout. She elected to play a hit and actually opened up a path, but she does need full 4 against 2 for the single.
Now, I know it's early, but you wonder if can't they play takeouts? There's a steal of 2. Now you're down 5, and look what's happened now. New Brunswick's within 1.
Yeah, a lot of red there when you're.
You sound quite mad at me. You are not hitting. Me, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
But you know what? New Brunswick again last night against Team Canada. Remember, they were comfortably in front, and
there were not hits played in that last end of the updated sheet.
Just roll it off. It's rolling. Wait.
Yeah, this is a problem for wild card. They're just chasing, and they're not having the ability to get Northwest Territories to chase them.
Yeah, think back there, they had a hack weight shot to sit 2 with hammer, with long guards that could be peeled off easily. Yeah, it's a tough sport that way, isn't it? You sometimes you have to go outside your comfort zone to apply some pressure. Otherwise, they're going to do it to you.
Yeah.
You're going right around, Cheryl, I think.
Think
I
so.
know, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Looks like it with that ice.
We can finish them on the guards.
They're really finishing at the end.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting to the broom, they're gone. Like Sarah's last one. I thought she was okay, but...
So split center is pretty perfect?
I think so.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Nice path
That
here.
just looks like a lot of ice for me.
Yeah, I like this better.
Okay. Pretty quick, hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's that's a good amount of curl.
Yes.
I mean, from day 1.
Yes. That's probably a little more, really. A lot of the draw the buttons were right around 4 feet of curl, and this is 5. So.
Halfway.
No, she's throwing the straight guard.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I thought I heard them say go around it.
Halfway.
Split and center, tight guard.
Clean it. Just keep it clean. Let it stop.
It's still going to curl at 5 feet, which is exactly what they wanted.
Close to. It's got to stop.
There it is. No, I
throw.
was under the impression they were going to come right around.
It's good. Good one, Carrie.
All right, another update. Let's go over to Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Saskatchewan with a steal of 4 in the third, steal of 1. Now final stone for Miss Kelly Sharp out of St. John's.
And an opportunity for 2, but only 2 because of a very nice double made by Robin Silvernagel on her final stone. Has 2 in the house, but they are not shot. It is the yellow already lying 1. So draw to the 8-foot for 2.
Right to it. Good job.
And there it is to get on the board in 5 with a couple. They'll go to the break. 5-2 Saskatchewan.
Sorry, I had to spin over.
That's crazy. You're never out of it here.
No.
Honestly.
You always have a chance.
Yeah, you're up 5-0. You're clawing your way back. Up 5-0. It's a 5-4 game there with PEI. You're up by just a 1.
Line's good. Clean.
Go a little for line.
Clean.
Top 8.
Hard then. Go then. Hard. Line 3. Line 3. Hard.
Gotta go.
They're holding it. They just need weight.
We got it.
We're closest to the stone, high and out in front, and now that'll crash.
Good speed.
Not a bad leave.
Yeah, rubs and
Light
rolls
hit.
off. So
Yeah, you can use it if you get forced to it.
Just light.
Yeah.
Oh, I assume Carrie will come right around top button.
Yeah, why not?
Like heavy clean.
You guys make it good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Carrie.
It curls hard at the end, so I don't.
Yeah.
Unless we're telling you to finish it, don't
Yeah.
be finishing
No.
it, okay?
Yeah. Nice speed here. In
So
fact, I
brush
said
out
if your
just a
speed's
little
good,
bit more than that
hold it out
guard.
there a bit. Okay, let's go, Carrie.
That's a great comment. It's going to
You got
finish
it.
really hard. If don't be finishing it unless we're telling you to. So you might carve it right onto that top yellow one.
Might have to go a
Breathe
little.
close. Top 4, top 8 right now.
Really good.
Oh, you got
So
it.
like the line,
Stay close, yeah.
thinks maybe it needs a little bit of help.
Top 4, top 8.
I think it's later.
It's coming down a lot. Where? Top 12. Hold it. Just top 12. Whoa. Let it stop. Right in top 12. Okay, good. No. Just walk it.
And doesn't get there.
That works.
But it does take away the draw path.
So now you're playing the bump
I thought I was a little light.
on the one you left.
It's like it's come down a little bit.
Two
Well,
choices.
I did throw that. I thought I was light when I let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I was wondering if there's anything you can get to, but I don't think there is. Like,
Crossing it.
this isn't low enough to be
Could
able
do
to.
that, but I don't think
bump
you get
that
the
up.
2, do you?
Straight onto there, but
No,
it doesn't
I think
work.
it'll roll off.
Yeah, I like that. What do you think
Yeah.
for weight? Just,
Board.
I think we need
or
more.
10?
I like at least 10.
Okay, half a rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that enough ice?
I think it should be.
Yeah.
So they're just going to play the short little run, red, yellow, red.
Go a hair more.
Get it thin enough, and you're going to stay maybe in here, which isn't quite good enough, is it? It won't outcount this one.
Is this risky?
Why don't we just tap for 1?
Yeah,
and if
she
we
just
give 'em
played
a
that
steal,
path.
it's not terrible.
That's to your point,
Well,
Vic.
how
You
much
just
were
threw
you
it.
gonna throw this?
It's only a little extra weight you're adding to play the tap.
The yellow straight tap? Yeah.
It's only for 1. Either way, it's only
Good
for 1.
point.
I think this is easier. You just threw it.
I think
That
that
looks good for
hit they were
ice.
calling was a little easier to take away Vic's good point.
Weight-wise.
Wow.
Than what you
I
just
think that's close.
It's a long day and a long week.
Got to get the line right on this one. This is the hard part.
And the other thing is you're moving those stones, right? You're moving extra rocks.
Lots.
Final stone for Casey Scheidegger. Right now it's a stolen point for Northwest Territories and Kerry Galusha.
Bump it through. Yep.
Oh, they're going after the good point. Oh, little rub. Oh, boy, that's a great point. Great point scored. Great point made. Having a good day. 2-1 wild card. Very nice. And before we go to break, Kathy, let's quickly check in on the game between Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick as they play in 5.
Oh, and Andrea Crawford sat in the hack for the first of her stones, faced 3, and they did scatter, but there are still 2 biters on the wings. And so for Suzanne Bird, an opportunity for 3 and to vault back into the lead.
Suzanne Burt and the team from Charlottetown. And the Charlottetown Curling Club mentioned she had been away, stepping away from the game for a couple of years as former Canadian junior champion, world junior champion. And that's that first year right out of juniors. Back in 03. Won a bronze medal. And there they are. As she does bounce back and extend the lead now to 8-4. When we come back, we'll check numbers. And a reminder coming up, we'll reveal the all-time women's second player.
The 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Scotties, Sponge Towels, Purex, and Cashmere. Proud sponsors of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts for over 35 years. The 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by New Holland, #TogetherBlue, by Pioneer Hybrid, serving Canadian farmers for over 70 years, and by World Financial Group, helping Canadians have better financial futures.
Well, it's been a very close game, and at the break, it's 2-1. Team wildcard, Casey Scheidegger leading Northwest Territories. Carrie Galusha as we go inside the numbers.
Well, you look at the players that up their game when they need to. Carrie came in at 75%. She's shooting 88. Casey came in at 74. She's shooting 84. Neither skip is allowing the opposition to score their multiple.
The numbers after 5 brought to you by Pioneer Hybrid, serving Canadian farmers for over 70 years. When we come back, we'll reveal Canada's greatest female second player of all time. And of course, everyone here has their eyes on the prize with the Arkells.
Purex bathroom tissue is so soft and so absorbent. It's soft-sorbent.
Soft-sorbent?
Absolutely. I just love how soft-sorbent this is.
Ooh.
Oh.
Soft-sorbent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anna.
Wow. A talking baby. Yep.
Purex.
During the Scotties and Brier, TSN will reveal Canada's greatest curlers of all time. TSN compiled a 31-person panel of writers, broadcasters, current and former players to reveal the best lead, second, third, skip, and team. Today we reveal the greatest second female player of all time, and the winner is Jill Officer. The 6-time Scotties champion earned 24 of 31 first-place votes, has been named the greatest female second in Canadian curling history. Nova Scotia's Marianne Arsenault finished second with 3 first-place votes, followed by Joan McCusker with 2 first-place votes, and Joanne Courtney rounding out the top 4 with a single first-place vote. Congratulations, Jill Officer. And there she is, Jill Officer, who will come into the game now for Team Canada as they get ready to start the second half against the team from Yukon. But she will be playing the lead position as she takes over for Dawn McEwen, who yesterday, of course, was named the all-time best lead. So congratulations to both. And we welcome you back as we begin play here in the second half. Team Wildcard. Scheidegger leads it 2-1, and here it'll be Harry Galusha, the team from the Territories with Lashbrook. They have the Hammer playing the Red Stars.
It's getting better. Top. Hard for weight. You don't need to just keep it straight. Go for speed. Go for speed.
It's a fascinating thing about our sport. I find the more I watch it, the more it's fascinating. It's 2 different styles. Both are successful, especially this week. I was criticizing Team Wildcard for being very defensive there, but in my opening I was saying that was their strength. So it's interesting how you can play all those years at these top teams and still have totally different philosophies on how to win. But I think they're going to have to put a little pressure on Galusha here. She's playing too well this week.
Yeah, like there's going to be a spot where Carrie's going to get there first and Casey's not going to be able to chase, and almost was last end.
Yeah, that's right.
Had she not rubbed, that would have been through.
That's fine.
Sorry, it didn't feel good. So
yeah, no, that's okay.
It's okay.
Good, Jess. Come.
Well, let's update Team Canada. And they play the Yukon, and it's the Yukon of all sitting at the back edge of the 4-shot rock.
Well, and she's playing a big angle raise, trying to have 3 come into play. Her first one did not work out, left Yukon shot and buried. There's your run.
No, wow.
Sorry, Caitlin. My bad.
7-4 as they go to the brink. And remember now, Jill Officer is coming in and throwing the lead stones. But it was 5-0 at one point.
Carrie, was that just a little too quick?
Great shot to open it up by Brittany.
Felt like lots.
3.
Felt like I was in.
3, 4. All there.
We saw the first stone for Team Scheidegger slide in. That was Christy Moore's first, so a little bit quicker. Everything seems to be just coming a bit deep. You see the one they're guarding is back 4 foot. It'll come into screen here.
Good old N6, eh?
Yeah.
Control. Okay.
I like that here.
Just easy.
Yeah.
The like
Okay, you got it.
10, 10,
Carrie
5.
tried nice here and curled hard once it got to
You
the
might
yeah,
be able to
curled
come off the back of your red one if you play this
Mhm.
intern hit.
Yeah, I think you can, and maybe stay buried.
Scoot in behind.
Yeah. You gotta go.
5. Yeah, hard shoulder.
Yep.
Hard.
Yeah.
Lost that option already. Now it's for the straight back double.
And we'll run it by and then just cover maybe a quarter of the stone. You wondered though, go back to what we were talking about earlier about this Scheidegger team playing almost no draws. Now, switch has been turned. They're not the team chasing. They're trying to cover their rock. It's all draws for them.
Exactly. That's tough. It really is. Now, luckily, that you're playing in the same surface all week. It has been a little bit different. Draw weight's been fairly close. I thought game 1 it was extremely fast. So you might be able to get away with it, but you're right, Beck. If you just don't throw any draws, it's tough to have that feel. The brushing too, you don't know. Like this one, for instance, later on, this will slow down a bit once it gets to that 4 foot path. So if you're throwing BBs all day and you don't get a feel for it.
Run and roll, maybe. Like run the red in? Yeah.
There are people that younger viewers who won't even know what BBs are.
No.
Because
Really?
because
BB guns?
BB guns for you and me. We didn't care about who's putting an eye out, but other people do today. And so
They don't make them anymore.
no,
for
they
people.
BB guns don't exist.
Really?
No.
Kids don't get to play with them.
I've got one. One at my mom's cottage.
No.
This is a good call. They can open it up, which is the key. But if you get it thin enough, you might be able to clip one of your reds in at the same time.
Whoa.
Hey, roll it, Brittany.
Get that other one in. Yep.
There it is.
Oh, very nice.
Okay.
Right behind
Throw.
guards. Great shot.
Sorry. Yeah, 3.
Well, they put a blank on the board in 6, so Saskatchewan continues to lead there over Newfoundland and Labrador.
Whoa.
6.
T-line?
Yeah.
Whoa line.
Pretty close to T. I think it'll come
T-line.
down.
Line close. T-line.
Yeah,
Okay,
T,
whoa
back
then. 4. To it. Okay, whoa. Whoa.
You gotta cross it, Jess.
There it goes.
It's got way too much weight.
Yeah, Jess. Go.
Can't leave an easy double. Go.
And they'll come back to their own
Good sweep.
Okay.
and back of the pinhole, so it's available.
Much can you see?
Good sweep.
Half. Pardon? Half. Probably just buck that. Or we run again.
I don't mind the run. I think I like the run. I think we give
Played defensively last end. They were in big trouble the whole end. Now they're gone to the offense. Force your opponent to tough ones.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
Just off nose.
Heel.
Just high side? Or nose?
Just a hair of nose.
Okay.
High side.
Peel? Yeah.
It's a big shot here this late in the end. Cheryl, you missed this. They cap it. They have trouble scoring. If you ever made this really good, you might have 2 red in play.
No.
I was on the fence of whether I'd play this or not, just because it's so late.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the come around's there, isn't it?
It is.
They left it late too. They didn't like it out of her hand, and she runs it by Sarah Colton.
All right.
Well,
Is that the same ice? Yeah. As
the fact that
Do you think a hair
the
less,
draw
or you
was
think
there,
this is
they
good?
could have
More
gotten
hair
to the
less.
face. They could have pushed it back and maybe closed it out. And okay, you've got your single. Maybe some way you get a 2.
Yeah, and just where you
Just
were
let
in
her
the
last
end,
and carry on
couple shots earlier, I loved the run. I think you played all day long, but just getting this late, you kind of want to get a point secured in there. And even a tap they could have played on it, built a little wall.
Right on the center
It's
line.
a tough rock to outdraw, and you had your chance there.
It's really fast. Yeah. I think it's nice. Yeah.
Guards have been fairly, I shouldn't say simple. People are just making them this week. I think it's that a little bit less curl. It's not quite as aggressive with the stones. A lot of these have been made really well.
I don't want to ruin the line. Line's good. 2. Pretty hard. Hard. Long straight.
So a 2 halfway then in the 3-guard zone.
No, we're not. No! Stop! No!
I'm just cleaning it. I'm not making a difference in line.
And there they go. Very nice. Covers them both.
Yeah, it's pretty long though.
Need to bump it. I mean, a bump's not
Oh,
awful.
I think you have a chance
But I don't
to.
wanna
I think
You got a chance to come down there.
It's just like I'm just
Get
cleaning,
that much
but
curl
still
past the
control.
guard.
It will go at the end, but
Okay, do you like a hair more? That looks super tight to me. Because where did we give for
I don't
this
think so,
draw?
because they just threw an out and theirs didn't move. Like, my out turn is not going to do much here, Sarah.
Okay.
Okay? And I got to make sure I'm there.
Yeah, really good point by Carrie. She knows her out turn runs a little straighter. She also knows she's not going to be light on this.
We need 2 line.
So you factor
We need
those
to be
2
tight.
things and tighten the brush up a bit.
Should be nice speed
Sarah
here.
likes a little more ice, but I don't think this is going to, mine's not going to do anything till late.
Okay.
Theirs didn't.
Yeah, I think we can hold it a little bit too. In
Yeah.
this,
As long
this
as I,
half.
like,
Yeah. Give
do
it your
my
nice extension and it should be good.
good speed.
Yeah, good speed here.
Okay, let's
I'll
make
be more
it.
fit than
We
your
need to be
last one.
T.
Okay. Yep. You got it, Care.
Okay, a bit up.
You want to
So
go?
skip stones.
Yeah. Felt heavy.
Carrie Galusha.
No line at all.
Not light either.
Back 8. Back 8. Back 8. Just for line. You don't. It doesn't have to finish. Line's good. It's way back. It's way back. Way back.
And they'll tap it back, and there they sit. There is some room though.
Sorry. Good call.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, good.
That
Carrie.
was
Good.
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 I think
I
so.
wonder if I can ever come in this way. Tap it.
Yeah.
Do you think it ever curls enough this way to do that?
It's overburied. Like, it's overburied by that much.
Okay.
It's there though, Cheryl.
Because the guard's really long.
It's
I don't
not
think she
there.
can come in this way, and if you make a good freeze.
If I know I won't be shot if we tap, hey?
I don't think so. You'll
No.
just be biting.
Okay. Just
Obviously,
tap
you
it.
can see more
Or
of it
sorry,
this way,
just
but
freeze.
that angle's not good for Team Wildcard, where you could come down here and you only have to touch it and get it out that way with no risk of jamming.
You could just freeze right on top of it, and how did they get? It's a tough deuce.
For sure.
Might be safer.
And if they don't think the intern's there, it's probably the easiest shot. Otherwise, you got to play peel weight and pick it across the top.
Right.
Just a little less.
Both teams pretty offensive with scoring points this week. Those are pretty high numbers.
Yeah, not today though. 2-1. As we play here in 6. Final stone for Casey Scheidegger, team wildcard out of Lethbridge. These two have not met before. Did not play on the tour this year. Did not meet at last year's Scotties in Penticton. They were in different pools.
Just do it. It's got a curl.
Real nice. How'd it go?
It's the best you could do.
Really good.
Great throw.
I'm not sure you can get in with the in-turn because of the corner guards.
Yeah, good throw.
Side red to even like get it.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think you're right.
Do you just play this one?
I think we have to.
Yeah.
I don't think the intern's there.
It is pretty tight.
Like I'd have to throw heavy, like
you'd have to,
like
yeah,
that
you'd
same
have to
weightish and come
this.
to our red, which is that's tough.
Yeah,
But
then let's.
And the
let's just
scary
do this
part
one.
with the out turn is you want to take enough ice to make sure you never come anywhere near that top yellow.
But you have to get the corner of the button. you have to be really near to that. No, you're right.
I don't think that intern's there.
This is dangerous.
From down there.
Just think
What's
about it, you
hard
have to
this
get to
way?
the edge of the hearts,
Whatever way you like.
which is,
both paths.
I don't know, half an inch away from wrecking on, and it's a steal of one.
Yeah. You don't want to touch it.
No.
From down here it does look better.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
This is like a lot of risk. Taking a ton of ice, so we don't. If you get it wide enough here, right about where Sarah's got the broom, it won't curl up much at all.
I like either, but the in looks good from down here. I don't know what it looks like from down there. So whatever your gut is.
I mean, they're both really hard.
Why don't you like the in? Because you think the
I
reds.
just didn't think we
you
had
think
enough
the
space
reds
there,
are in the way.
to be honest. I just didn't think we had enough room. I mean, this way I need to throw full 4T line to get our deuce.
Okay.
I like
It's
that
just
confidence.
So straight out here. Like we have more ice, right?
Yeah, it'll run a little bit straight.
Okay.
We'll have to maybe carve it a little at the end.
Let's make
but
it just
should be
be
close.
4T.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll give
You
you a
got it,
little less than what I just gave you.
Yeah,
Time
I
out.
think
Time
3 or
out.
4 feet left.
John, we need the intern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here comes, this is an indication somebody's looked up and has seen John Epping probably
Hit this yellow and tap them in. Like, whereas if you're tapping it
saying, I want to chat about it.
You're tapping it away. You're not tapping it into ours.
Oh, you got to play that Chapin line.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
So hit the top.
Back
the one
8.
they just threw?
Back 8.
This way.
Yeah, play the intern, like back 8.
looks pretty good. From
Yeah,
down
from here
there.
looks
It
too
didn't
easy.
really
I think.
look
I think.
good.
I don't think the guard's in play. So you're looking for back, solid back 8. Try and hit a third, and stick over here. I mean, if you want to throw the top yellow.
We're hitting the yellow.
Yeah, I'd hit the top yellow either and play it to there, or I would play the cold draw to our red. You can come to our red
I'd
and move
rather
it.
play the cold draw.
Then play that. Play like
a heavy, like
back 4.
Yeah, like
back
a
4.
what I
yeah.
just threw.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would.
But this side curls a bit more.
Yeah, you can never hurt yourself. We're never moving ours off, but this looks way easier than a draw here. I think this is a great chance for 2, Carrie.
Okay.
Okay. You
What
know.
are you thinking for ice?
You need some speed to do that.
Sarah and I were talking about it.
You're gonna take. Show me, Sarah. I got 31 seconds. No, you need less.
Well, because I'm gonna be. Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about that for the cold draw.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
back 4.
Let's go. I'm thinking there with
back 8?
little. No, I don't want back 8 because we can't
Back 4.
we can't bump off too much, right?
No.
So back 4, that's fine with me.
So when we're going to our red.
Go to the red then.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just
Or
throw
do you
back
wanna
8
play-
Not a lot of room.
Well, then you play it off the yellow. Then we just play it off the yellow and in.
Play off the yellow.
Get the guards on and play, girls.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Oof.
Just throw back 4 away. We'll just.
Yeah,
the
still
line.
not, yeah.
I'm not sure they're sold on that.
No, but it is the right call. It's a wonderful, wonderful option.
Yeah, you got it.
The other one was more dangerous.
What do you think,
Yes.
Shona? Same speed here.
You just would
Yeah, she
hate
can
to
give us the
ever
same.
tap
She
them
just
in.
gave us
If you
the
think
same.
of it as a tick shot, right? Just hit the yellow on this right at the center line, move it a couple feet, and you stay in the 4-foot. Or you go right by it to the back red one. I was saying the straight draw was very difficult, but this tap, it's a great idea for John.
But the idea too, and we mentioned this before,
Similar weight. Do you think I need a little bit more than I gave on that out?
he has to listen to her. Is this him saying this is the shot, or why didn't you let her play the draw that she wanted on the out turn side?
I think he took her away from a dangerous shot that she could maybe tap them in, and it was tough. So I think he's called the shot, and she'll be comfortable with it.
This way you're always chipping that yellow stone. If you do touch it, top of the 4, you're chipping it away.
Less risk.
Alternatively, you've come the other way, you could be chipping it in.
Oh, this could be trouble also. It over curls.
Watch out now. And move it far enough, and they do. And they get away with it.
Not quite.
That's the one.
Didn't get second, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Over curled.
Good try. any harder, she makes it.
Okay, yeah. Good?
Yep, one it is. Thank you, ladies. Both these teams come in at 3-1. We're tied at 2. We're tied at 2 on this Tuesday afternoon. It is the Scotties, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship, team wild card from Lethbridge, skipped by Casey Scheidegger. Will have last rock. They have the Hammer playing the Yellowstone. Both teams coming in at 3-1. Just the one game for these teams out of Pool B tonight. Will feature Pool A again before the final round robin draw tomorrow, Wednesday, before moving on to the championship draw. Well, this is complicated, more complicated than I expected it to be, especially when you see that 5 on the board initially put on there by Jennifer Jones, but here she is in some trouble.
Well, she's making it complicated on herself. She had a wide open hit to lie 4 on her first and flashed, and Nicole Baldwin made a perfect freeze. This is trying to run her stone in to get rid of that yellow.
Oh, really good try.
And does not. And so here's a steal of 1.
1 yellow. 1 yellow.
Baldwin, 1 yellow.
1 yellow.
And from that 5-0 lead, now it's down to just a 2.
It was kind of where
7-5.
That is a lovely shot.
Wow.
Very nice. Very gotta hit them. Good sweeping, Jess.
You know, again, to come back. And Kathy, you're listening to this too. whether you want to or not. You can point at other less experienced teams and say, okay, you're not hitting, but you're watching that game more closely than we are. Why is Jennifer Jones in this position?
Well, you know what? In the last end, as I said, she was in a position to hit to lie 4 and put all kinds of pressure on the Yukon, but she missed. And then that allowed the Yukon to make a great shot, and she did.
Okay. So it's more because of execution than it is strategy.
You bet.
Do you want to do that
Yeah, you show me somebody that's curling 95%. Their strategy's pretty good.
Well said.
Do you like just this?
No, what kind of weight?
I was thinking 9.
Okay.
Well, what,
We
I
just
don't know
weren't
what
sure.
the call is.
Are we trying to stick it? Yep. Okay. Thank you.
World's best tick just a minute ago. He ticked the long one over, get it out of pay dirt, and rolled into the ring somehow.
Yeah, it's hanging around back edge of the 12-foot at about 7 o'clock.
Well, with the score the way it is, you're now starting to look at kind of scoreboard management. Blank would be really good here if possible, or score your deuce.
Now watch this, and this has no chance. But there's that stone back there that Ross was talking about. And again, it is wild card playing yellow that does have last rock.
Yeah, withdraw weight.
Well, they blanked the 6th, so now we go to 7-5-2 Saskatchewan, and haven't seen her throw a last rock yet. This is Saskatchewan from North Battleford, and this is Robin Silvernagle.
Well, she's got a good chance to score 2 in this end. She made a nice one on her first to lie 2, and only 1 able to be removed by Newfoundland and Labrador, so paint for 2.
And again, a big 4 put on the board. Was a steal of 4, then a steal of 1. They were up 5-0 on all stolen points after 4. And now they are up 7-2. Jesse Hyen
trying to use the corner.
Line is fine. We're deep.
No line.
Hold on.
We're deep. It's trying.
There it goes.
It's trying.
Carrie's
Do you want it
wrong.
back?
Yep,
to
go.
go.
I'm wide open.
Hard, Care. Hard. Hard.
Hard.
Hard. Good feet. Whew, that came down a little.
Yeah.
Did you get it, Ty? Over the line.
one more time. Prince Edward Island scores up by 8-4 as we play in 6. Final stone on the way. St. John's, Thistle St. Andrews, Andrea Crawford.
Andrea made a very nice come around on her first stone after Suzanne Burt rolled out of the house. And on a freeze attempt, she went right through, she being Suzanne Burt. And so this is a draw for 2.
Again, here's a game where Burt led it 5-0. It was a steal of 5 in the second. And then 2 and stolen 2, now 2. And guess what the lead is? 2. Thank you.
We can all add.
Sweep.
Russ is trying to figure out why it wasn't 3.
Trying to find my calculator. Big mistake there, though. That was a fairly makeable come around tap back.
Looked like an overthrow more than anything.
Yeah, that's again, we said it a lot, but a couple feet heavier than you expect on those board waders, and you look foolish.
Yes, let's go.
And then these are so easy. They carve in there nicely.
Yep, go, or Chris. Go, 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 go. A little more,
It
Chris.
actually
Little
may
more,
have
little more. Okay.
over-curled and come out the other side.
That was a curl up there.
So sitting the
I thought you
2.
less than you, it looked like.
It's not the best spot for that. You could play hit and roll on top of it. You
Or we
could
just play this.
play a double. I like the hit and roll on top.
Either one.
It's easier, isn't it? The doubles.
Thin.
Real tough.
I like this.
What, wait? Peel? Yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry.
Peel. Trying to go thin, I guess. You know, but using the gear effect, get it to roll underneath with the out turn. That guard's almost in the way, isn't it?
It's just
Would
Peel.
definitely be in your line.
Sarah Colton. And she's going to crash on her own guard.
Yikes.
I wouldn't have played that turn.
Boy. Played such a good game. You hit that really thin with that turn. You would have got a lower roll and made the double, but I'm not sure it was even there.
No. She called the hit and roll on top, but so I don't know why they changed it.
We're back. But
Carrie Ann McTaggart
looks like lots. I feel like we're through.
trying to split the house.
Just tee, Jess.
Should
Back
be okay.
tee's fine.
Looks like it's really sliding though.
No, it's good.
Sit.
Okay.
And it finally
That's
dies.
good,
Good enough. Gotta go.
Back 12.
I just wanted to say
Good care. Okay. Double. Okay. Try to get these two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried this one earlier, obviously, because it's so thin. If Carrie's successful and gets both of them out, you could end up way over here. It's almost like around the horn. That red one will spin if it's properly made. That's the hard part. It could go way across, right over to where you want it.
Well, there's a little less risk on it now. There's no guard.
Mm-hmm. You could hit half of this and miss the back one, though, just as simple.
Just clean.
At 9.
No, don't touch it.
Close. 9.
No.
Whoa.
Galusha in her first. Barber. And gets only one, slides underneath.
Oh, she was close to making that.
It sure really was.
Quite straight there.
That was so close.
Yeah.
I thought we had it. Rest two. Could just go up here.
No, then you could potentially set up a triple. If I'm ever light. I don't know.
Well, that's...
My gut was that, but.
Okay.
Do you like there?
Wherever you like.
Yeah. Like.
I don't love
This is still nice here, Kate.
Yeah, 14.5 still.
Christy's like, don't overthink
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand. Do you agree if you put it center line, top 12, it sets up a potential triple?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you get it in the wrong spot, if it's up here somewhere, you look at your 90-degree angles, and they all go. So the theory is a good one. Get it over here. The best they can possibly do is make a double, and by doing that, they roll out, and you've got to draw the ocean for two.
So now they're going the other side.
Yeah, they're going to go T-line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Speed's the same.
There will still be a double, but never a triple. I always look at that 90-degree rule. If you put that top 8-ish on the center line, it could be trouble.
Okay, full top
Line's a
4.
little tight. I don't know.
Right to my brew. Line's good.
Where?
Back 4.
Good. Go back 8.
Where?
Back 4.
Okay, T is
back
fine.
4 is okay.
If you're back, I would like you to go here.
Yeah, we're there.
It's
On its own.
Okay, really deep, actually.
Right there.
Whoa.
There, Chris.
Sit.
Okay.
Okay.
And to the back edge of the 8. So sitting 3 with last rock.
It's actually a really good spot.
Very nice. There you go.
So was my
Why?
pick probably
Well, there's
okay?
no
I just
double
added
on
too much, or was
as
my
we
pick
were looking
like
at it, the
that?
two that are even, and then the higher double, the rock on the right, that's pretty thin. And it's long if you play it to the one on the left-hand side, 12-foot.
So what does she have, Russ? What does Galusha have, possibly?
We don't just know that.
I think looking at the scoreboard, I think I'd swallow my pride and try to make a double here and give them two. You could play the freeze, and the perfect freeze would work well, but the odds of making that, you probably lose the game with a perfect freeze, because if it overcurls, undercurls, you give up 3 or 4.
Yeah, two. If you could get out of this with giving them 2, you'd be pretty happy.
You've missed 2 wide open hits and had a rollout.
Yeah. Let's go. Tighten up. I was out on that last
The
one though, too.
audible here, Vic, would be if this overcurls a bit, try to roll on top of that yellow one and make that next shot, the last shot, hard.
Yep. Okay, let's go. I'll start a little bit
And then
better
you
here.
go back now to why they're in this
You got it,
spot.
straight up.
Northwest Territories goes back to that. Remember the guard and those 2 yellows
Yes.
on that side, and maybe the Bad call, missed shot, obviously. Let's update PEI and New Brunswick. Final stone to be played, Suzanne Burke.
Well, Andrea Crawford made a really good shot on her first one, froze to the PEI shot stone with a lot of yellow granite in play. Suzanne tapped it back, and Andrea was able to run it to get shot. She's trying to get as much of the nose of the red stone that she can to maybe get two.
Oh, no.
Great shot, Suzanne.
She'll get the single. Yeah, she does.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. And more.
Yes.
1 and 2. It rolled far enough. Goodness.
That was a great throw.
So 10-6 up, Bert.
I couldn't hear if she was saying well.
Wow. And then now that shot did not roll over, and there's a chance for 3 for Scheidegger.
Well, you protect a little bit if you're Carey. You missed it. The last one almost flashed it and got the back one, so you don't want to give him 4.
Yeah, they missed it wide twice, didn't they? Yeah.
Final stone. Chance for 3. After we've seen nothing but singles so far.
Mine's good. Mine is good. Let's roll, Case. Atta girl.
Great.
There it is. Doesn't take much.
Atta girl. Good job.
Couple of mistakes. Bad call. Scheidegger gets 3. So Team Scheidegger leads it as we welcome you back. We go to 8. And up now 5-2, a little bit of an explosion. 3 points on the board in 7 means that Kerry Galusha, the team from the Yellowknife Curling Club, Northwest Territories, will have last rock. They have the hammer playing the Red Stones. They're playing very long guards, and then of course in comes Scheidegger, top 4, covers it, top edge of the 8. And you were saying earlier, as you take a look at the respective numbers for the 2 leads, the guards you said were easy to make, or easier to make, but you have to make them in such a way as to be able to use them, and those are so long they're almost invisible up there.
Exactly, that there's just too much curl. You need to get the guards tighter. That's really been the difference. Shona's struggled a bit with her weight, even sliding in a couple ends early in the game, 2 or 3 ends, I think. And it just doesn't, then you chase the rest of the end. And that's what's happened here.
Yeah.
Here we go, the respective numbers for the seconds. For Brittany Tran.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Jessie Hyen.
Or do you want to run? I don't mind going after it for 1. Okay, back line. Okay, you got
I
it.
don't like the run back in this case. You're always fearful of, with that speed rolling out, and then the double reds disappear pretty quickly, and you're done for trying to generate a big score. Just even if you tap this back, Cheryl, one of these.
I like that. Start to kind of build a wall. It's not really about removing anything. It's not necessary.
Back line.
All rocks in play help.
Hard. Don't let it touch. Very nice.
And enough to push it back, and not quite out the back.
Very nice.
So paying more attention to the standings here on this Tuesday, with one more day of round robin play in the pools. So we know Alberta, with their 5th win earlier today, they are through. Well, in our pool, there are the 3 teams coming in at 3-1. Our feature, of course, Territories wild card. So it's going to be a real tight race. Coming up tonight will be the 2nd of Pool A. And then tomorrow it'll be B that'll play 2 games.
Brilliant roll.
That's perfect.
No one gets through out of this pool as of today. They'll have to wait till their 2 draws tomorrow.
And the hard part, I believe, for this pool is the 4 games in the championship pool. Those teams you're going to play are really good teams.
That's right. So let's remind you, if you're not familiar, 2nd year of this format. Top 4 teams will cross over, running it back, and we'll get rid of 2. But that jam leaves the wild card. Scheidegger sitting the 1. So let's just take, for example, PEI Northwest Territories, Scheidegger, and Team Canada right now are your top 4 teams on that Pool B. Well, you take your record and you go cross over, and you end up playing the likes of Alberta and Ontario, Northern Ontario and BC. So yeah, they're going to be not going to be easy. And you take your record with you.
Yeah, that's the problem. You look at Alberta with no losses.
People keep saying it's 2 phases. It really isn't. If you make the championship, it's an 11-team round robin like it always was historically. And those last 4 are your toughest 4.
Yes.
in you could argue.
Yeah, that's how it's set up. Play the hardest at that last.
Pretty small. I think there's room. Okay. Yeah.
Time out. You want a time?
Time out.
So they're going to use their 2nd timeout.
I know we've lost.
Once again to talk with their coach, John Epic.
Wide.
I was looking at that.
I know. I figured you were looking at that.
And I was like,
what do you think? Well, you know what? I think those are great for us. I mean, what are you
was wondering
thinking?
if there was enough room.
I mean, we're down 3, so we got to play to get some points.
We need our juice.
So here's a scoop.
The outturn draw is not bad.
Okay, but if we wrap one in turn, say top 8, they go up and double.
While they talk, let's go over and just check in on Saskatchewan, up by 5. Newfoundland and why am I whispering? Welcome to the 18th.
Can't hear you.
Welcome to the 18th green, where Kelly Sharp is about to throw this putt. Go ahead.
She made a hit on her first one to lie to, and playing the scoreboard. Silvernagel removed one of the stones but stays open, so this is the open hit for 2.
Good, Cal.
And there they are for 2.
Good job, good job.
So positive, but just don't make sure it's too much of an ad, right?
like
When you're
where are you
positive.
looking for ice?
I'm thinking just outside. It's outside of edge of the house. What do you think?
I think so.
What do you think more?
Edge of 12? I was thinking a hair more.
Then give a hair more.
I don't mind a hair more.
It will run out here.
Yeah.
And time-wise, it's like 15.
Let's go 3 feet. Extra 3 feet?
Yeah, I agree with that
What do
one.
you think? 2 feet, 3?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, girls. Yeah.
I thought that what I took away from that conversation is, look, ladies, we've got those 3 piled up there. There are rocks. We need points. Let's go after it.
Yeah, and he's exactly right. John knows. And I really liked his other comment is, let's go around here. If they peel those double guards, then we go around again. We need to set something up. And they talked about this path, too, being a little bit faster. This will be the good pebble out here. It'll be fast. And so 15.
The other thing, too, how do you get through that little port? And even if you do, you're taking off a rock that can help you. They're all guards. That yellow one out front is in the rings, is really helping them. A really good timeout. You've got 5 guards you can use, and you're 3 down. Why not start using them?
Sorry, let's go back to what Kathy said earlier. She really has and does put her faith in John Epic. You got to get by now. Here's that scrub. Got to get it by that one. Coming up really fast. Now you got enough to get it there. A couple of extra feet. Remember, 3 feet more, and
I hope somebody knows where that guard was.
and there it is. And they'll sit down just in time. It is the shot rock.
I hope you knew that.
Yeah, I think they were, because one was here and one was here.
John Barber just may have touched the stone a little bit.
I only touched the 2. I
Staggered a little.
Shono on the left. Watch now. Watch the foot.
There it is, Casey.
Bang.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's close.
I think you're right.
I don't think it was over that much. More? A little farther? They did show it.
There they go.
That looks good to me.
Good call, good shot. A little deeper than they wanted it, but it's a start to generate a crooked number.
Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good for Carey's team. The amount of guards you've got up there
Do you guys like following or do you like playing the
gives you a
out?
chance.
Whatever. I don't mind the out turn. If I leave it open, it might jam.
Or can we tap ours?
Do you guys like this? Yeah. Still at 15 out here?
Oh, yeah, speed's real nice.
Line's good.
Oh, there?
Line is good. Room. Line's good. Room. All you. Jesse's
Carrie Ann McTaggart
Hard Jess.
trying to help it over now.
Yeah, gotta go for
Go
line.
back then.
Gotta go.
Yep.
As long as you're full 8.
Yep. Hard.
And catches the 4 and
Okay.
will stop. They are the shot rock, back 8.
We always felt as a team that in this situation when you're getting a little desperate 3 down that if you can talk the other team into throwing some draws, you've got a chance. And that's what's happened here.
It's just if we do that, they just come here again. I know. Takes everything away. I think we gotta go here.
Yeah, they just threw them some backing.
Okay, I gotta give you a lot less, hey?
I'd say, yeah, 4 feet less.
Just 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bit less.
I added.
You've got lots of room.
To the back one, I think.
Gave it a little bit more, and going to the back one is not what they wanted.
Yep. Whoa. Back 4. Yep. Back 4. Yep.
If you're going to go to the back one, maybe tap it and try and sit 2.
Barber
Back 4. We're losing.
and Tran.
Whoa, we gotta stay.
Losing line.
Go.
Boy. And then we'll slide for a third shot. Second shot, third shot belong to Territories.
So I think that should be close for line. That's less than you.
Okay.
That looks okay?
Yeah.
When you look at the skip numbers, there's not much to choose between them. Really, the difference comes into that strategy call in the last end when Galusha maybe got caught playing on those edges to give up 3. Player numbers are brought to you by New Holland. #TogetherBlue.
We're through.
Well then.
Oh my God. We're definitely through. It's trying to curl.
Tap your,
Whoa.
It looks, sorry, it looks hot.
you want to tap your own either.
Oh, it's no chance for a rub either. And back to it, and they'll still sit the 2.
That works.
Boy,
Right now.
just.
Yeah. Back line. Back 12.
Team Canada, of course, got that 2 in 7, but it looks like UConn has a chance to get a couple right back.
Well, they do. Jennifer was looking at this situation on her first, made a lovely berry in the 4-foot, but Nicole Baldwin ran her own back and picked it out. And when Jennifer was faced with the same situation twice, came short. And that is why this is a draw for 2, needs 8-foot.
Line's great. Wait only fully. Larry. Looks like lots. Looks like lots.
Let it catch. Let it catch.
Very nice.
Let's go. A little bit. Yeah, a little soft. Gotta go.
Very nice indeed for the 2. But it's still Team Canada up by a couple. And they'll have Last Rock playing 9. Kerry Galusha.
Okay, wait.
Gotta get it by that one first, though. Ooh. And well scrubbed. They gotta go deep. They had to brush it.
Finicky little spot there. We talked about it earlier. You get wide enough, it doesn't curl. Just got that by.
Oh. I didn't think they were going to.
Okay, wait.
Down. Okay.
Now let's go to the game between PEI and New Brunswick. And I don't think... they got that little biter at the back. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Andrea Crawford and her team were lying 3 buried behind a corner guard. Suzanne Burt tried to run it back, just replaced all of them. And that is why this is the chance for 3.
Bang it right there, and there's that little lob at the back. That lousy outside biter put 3 on the board. Now get it by. Oh boy, that little rub, roll, and it'll spin, come back far enough. Oh dear, not quite. Still shot rock, belongs to Territories. Back for...
Coach's timeout paid off again.
Yeah, nice weights. 15-3.
He's batting 100.
Aware of that. All right, girls. We need foot 4.
Okay.
I will throw that better for you. So just be careful.
Yeah,
I'll
we
let you
just
know
chatted
because
about
if I
that.
throw it better, it'll run straighter.
Yeah.
I think Casey got lucky on that second one of hers that she threw that came down deep and froze because you could have looked at a chance for 3 here.
Bundle, yeah.
Until very, very late.
I know they didn't like it, but it worked out.
Okay, let's make it. Okay, a little bit up. Pretty close. I thought it was better.
Final stone, sitting the 1. Trying to just follow her own stone down. Maybe get a little hit, roll inside.
4. We're back 4. Just clean it. It looks really good.
It's nice. It's nice.
Looks real good, they say. Oh, looks very good.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. gets a couple, trails by one. On this Tuesday afternoon here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, we are at Centre 200. It's the Canadian Women's Curling Championship. Got underway last Friday, of course, with the play-in game won by Casey Scheidegger out of Lethbridge. A win over Terry Anderson. Now here she is, one of the three teams tied at the top of the table in Group B at 3-1. She, Carrie Galusha, the Territories, also PEI. As we go to the ninth, leading by one, it is Scheidegger that does have last draw. They have the hammer playing the Yellow Stones. And this is the Lethbridge Curling Club lead, Christy Moore.
Trying the tick shot again for Christy.
Boy, get it really full. Now how far back? And it'll push it back into the open. It's sitting in the 8-foot, but leaves that shooter there to maybe be used.
They were hoping to roll a little bit farther.
I like coming around. First shot. What do you think?
I like that hit
in the middle. Force the plate in the middle. I like coming around. Yeah.
It's just so high. Like I think we go here then.
Yeah.
I think you need to throw another guard.
Mm-hmm.
It's early.
I like that.
Depends on what you're trying to do, isn't it? Like, are you forcing, and so you're 2 down, and you're trying to get 3 coming home? Or are you trying to steal here?
I just think we force the play in the middle.
Well, we're just trying to force, right?
Yeah.
Yep, there's the answer.
Force.
Okay, you got it. Just control curl up at the end.
Yeah.
Shona, try and get a little bit of a roll if you can.
Yeah.
It's a little quiet.
Yep, then.
Clean, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, if it's quiet.
Hard! Really hard! Hard!
We have to stick this.
And there's that roll they were looking for, but it'll spill too far.
Good.
Was it just, Carrie, did you get it time by chance?
10 too. She's a soft.
Oh, it was okay. Okay.
Forward.
Hey, Jess.
Sister to sister.
Weight's good!
Jessie Hyen throwing at Sister Casey.
Close!
Try to hit and roll right on top.
Weight's good! Hard! Whoa!
And then right across. Gave it a little touch on the way through.
Yeah.
Just talking about the weight being down, so it jumped on them.
Yes, we didn't have too many curl in that area.
Sorry, Dad. Just came down. Keep her real close.
Close!
I think we have to go a little.
Go a little! Up close!
Take a look! It's running! It's running!
It's sliding. It's really sliding. It's like back 8. It's really sliding. Okay.
Sorry, Britt.
I missed the time on that. Sorry.
That's okay. It looked like a nice throw.
That hurts. You wanted that one short.
She actually was quite tight, but
As you said, Charlotte, the center guard's so poor.
That's what I think you're seeing in the teams that start to kind of separate in the field as you convert. You get an opportunity like you just had. You don't get many of them, and you have to convert on it. Bear down. Think of pro side miss.
Hard for the double. Whoa! Straight, straight, straight,
Whoa.
straight. That's
That's
nice.
good, Jess. Let's nail this one top for.
Yeah.
Nice pass
Still
here.
quick here, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, try to give you a slow kick and a good extend.
You got it.
That's such a good discussion on a fast spot because you have to kick out slower because it's so quick, but you don't want to not extend or you get that kind of dead handle and it over curls.
Yours, Britt. It's up. Looks hot. Yeah.
Line only. No.
No.
Don't touch
come
it.
down a little.
Don't touch
Mine
it.
isn't bad.
Wait.
T-line. It does look heavy though. I needed to catch some curl and we're good. No. T-line.
Over curl a bit.
Sit.
No.
Shona, go. Go.
Try to maybe the last couple of licks to get it to curl a little more. They are sitting the 2 without last rock territories.
Kind of weight, sorry. Do you like just solid? Pardon?
Now the Saskatchewan up. Remember, of course, they stole their first 5 points, but it's only a 3-point game. And Saskatchewan does have last rock here for North Battleford's Robin Silvernagle.
Well, a great shot made by Newfoundland Labrador on their final stone, ignoring the open stone given the score, buried completely behind the corner guard for shot. And so Robin is taking her 1 if she can, needs full 8.
Nice run back there.
Wait, though. T-line. I need T. Yeah, it's moving hard. Okay, just easy here now. It's good. Good. Nice weight. 1. Good.
1 it is. Just hangs on the back edge of the 4.
Thanks. Good game.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
it's done. And so that's a big win for Silvernagle, who makes a first appearance. 8-4 is your final. As their record now goes to 3-2, 1-4 for Kelly Sharp out of
Solid.
St. John's.
No.
straighten it. No, we missed it.
Crash now, and
They
Sure
jumped
is.
on to get that. Sorry, Vic. They jumped on that to get it to curl, and then all of a sudden they yelled line.
well, is that a case of brushing it too soon? That we talked from day one. You have to wait. Stone, if you jump it, it'll straighten it out. You almost have to wait for it to grab and then try and save it and hold
Yeah,
it.
and in this case, they jumped it to get it to curl, and then you can't kind of bring it back.
You could play it on this too. Yeah, whatever you like.
Interesting situation here. They're
What was that?
trying to be a little greedy here by tapping that one out. You could do it with the out turn because it's such a long guard. You play the run back and you miss it. You've taken your own out, and Galucha draws around for 2.
Yeah, I don't love the run back on your own.
No, I know.
But isn't this something similar to what they had when they got their 3? Remember, they were all spaced around the back. They left Galucha a chance for 2. She couldn't, and that's how they got their 3.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So this will bring out
Play for that.
Susan
No,
O'Connor.
Yeah, that guard is
whichever
really
you
not a
like
guard.
better. I'm okay with either.
I mean, as long as I stick my shooter, I don't have to stick the back one. Sticking the shooter
Yeah.
is the most important,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
You are shot though, right? Like
Yeah,
you could
that's
just
the only
draw
thing.
full 8s edge
Yeah.
to edge. What does she do? No, just like edge to edge, edge to edge. Then she can't play that without jamming.
Like here.
No. Here, on this side. No.
Christmas tree it.
Yeah.
Folks.
Oh, I see.
Or I don't mind. I mean, if you play anything this way, you're leaving her the hit and roll behind.
Yeah.
You think
I know.
that's high enough to chase?
Do you ever like playing that again?
I guess we are shot. The only
if
reason
you-
I don't like it is because we're shot.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
be playing
I
shot
agree.
stone
Not a chance.
with weight.
I don't hate it. You know the spot well, but you really don't want to leave them shot right now, right?
No.
So
I
that
don't
was
mind this.
that was my first thought. If
Yeah.
I don't hate everything else,
I actually full 8.
But
I
I
think
really
if you're
like
playing
this.
that back one, you almost just play to tap down, like freeze down to it.
Yeah. Either like the freeze here.
Yeah, the freeze is a pretty easy shot. And you tap it a foot, you sit 3. The guard's like 100 miles away.
Just don't hit shot stone.
Well, just 2 sheets over, not 100 miles away. Prince Edward Island is playing New Brunswick. How's that for a segue, Kathy?
It's,
and here,
smooth.
really? Smooth. Here we go. PEI and Suzanne Bird.
Well, she's got the same shot twice. Was facing 2 on her first, went around and buried the stone. That is shot. And Andrea Crawford, heavy on her final stone, went through. And so 4 foot for 2.
Andrea had her in trouble the whole end, and
She
she was
did.
heavy on both.
She was.
And there it is for 2 more. So 12-9, 21 points. The record is 23 in a round robin game.
There was only 16 in the Super Bowl.
In football scores.
Happened twice. In '88, Francine Poisson beat Jackie Rintoul of Manitoba, Quebec over Manitoba. And Saskatchewan in '09, Stephanie Lawton beat Robin McPhee of Prince Edward Island. So those are the 2 times. 23 points. We're 2 away from tying it.
Just need a field goal to tie.
I like the on-off. They must be close.
Oh, brother.
That's how hard it was, right?
And now you're running it by and you've rolled out.
Don't get that shot at all.
No.
I like the 2 options. Like I liked coming down to the back when you could
Yeah.
maybe sit 3, or I liked Sue's call too, top 8.
You're one up, sit 2
Yeah.
with hammer. The guard's not even in play.
Yeah.
You're laughing. No, Sue had the right idea. Or come to the back when it's
Yeah.
at 2. One or the other. Just
Either way. Yeah, to ever make a play on your own shot rock.
I like this, Carrie.
That's a total disaster in a lot of ways. You can still get out of this, but it's probably going to be a single. Now you're only 2 up.
Full 4.
The 5 rock rule.
No, I'd like to just be top 8. That guard is too high to come in that deep.
Okay.
Top, as long as we're second shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make it.
You got it, Karen.
Still a good path?
Yeah, good path here.
Yeah, you'd love to come down to maybe top 4 foot, even top button, but the guard's so long, so top 8 foot works.
Okay. You got it.
I think we're
Mine's
all there.
good. All there right now, I think, on its own. Just top 8.
Whoa, shut
Top
up!
8. We're all there. We're all there. No.
Did I kill it?
Oh no.
Stay close.
We're
It's
T
coming
right now.
up. It's curling now. T.
And Barbara jumping it early and
I think leave it then. We're
wondering if she may have just killed the stone a little bit.
You can easily tap it.
Again, that center guard is so long.
Yeah.
It is. It's effectively not there.
You could
I let
probably,
it go on.
probably make the double here if you wanted to.
Well, okay,
That's
we gave Christy probably
Yeah. Okay,
close.
fine.
Okay.
This could be their chance for a wild card to get a couple if they can just play a little tap on this.
So she's gonna play the bump. You might have to play the bump back. We know both sides of
Yeah.
Back line.
I feel like that's a lot of ice.
Yeah?
Compared to my tick shot.
Okay.
And it's fairly similar line to what my
Let's
tick
go a little
shot
less.
was.
You were back 8.
I had you
Yeah,
about
I know,
edge
but
of-
still.
Well, not even back 8.
I had you edge of 4.
Yeah.
So do you think
Yeah,
you did
I
less?
like this better, but
Less still.
less isn't gonna hurt you.
We're
Yeah.
just trying to take Christy's tick path.
I think that's
like
real
it.
good.
Okay.
Back line.
Casey Scheidegger, her first, has last draw, leading by 1. And right now it is Galusha territory, sitting the 2.
Gotta go, Jeff. Gotta go on red. Go, go, go. Go,
Got to go on red. Push it far enough. No, not enough.
Sorry.
This is
Okay.
one call. That first
Yeah.
or last stone on McTaggart's stone to play the run back is leading to all this.
As
Yeah.
ever.
It's an 11-7.
Closer to half?
Yeah.
Okay.
For you guys, and then I had to kind of hold on to it a little longer. That's okay. So I'll try to
Now
throw it a bit
You're
better.
going to be facing 3 here.
Same speed though, I won't go. Little higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
No, the
Mine the same.
Way close.
previous best was St. Catharines. Mentioned it a couple of years ago, was 5 and 6.
Just top 4. Make sure. Mine's
Has
fine.
on occasion has knocked off some of the top teams, and
Got a curl.
Mine's really good. It doesn't.
Mine's really
We're
good
full 4
though.
right now. We're full 4 right now.
Gotta stop.
No.
Gotta stop. No.
and finally does stop. And they are sitting 1, 2, and 3.
I like that position because it's over curled a bit, which changes turns, I believe, for Team Wildcard.
And you can see too, Russ, pardon me, they are just trying to see if they bang it right on the nose.
It's close.
Are they then shot? They're one at the back edge.
I think they would be.
Yeah, I think so too.
Good. Yep.
But easier said than done. It's
Yeah,
this guard scared them the whole end. And
Force. That's pretty good.
now you're adding a little bit of weight.
You know, again, what woulda, coulda, shoulda. You come down and you play that tap to sit 3 with McTaggart's last.
or just lighter and sit 2.
Yeah.
Is it easier just to hit
And
roll
you're,
off the back?
And it's funny, Susan O'Connor presented those 2 options and they didn't play it.
Neither of them.
Yeah.
And both were really good. One took away the hit and roll and let you sit first and second, and the other one let you sit 2.
Is it because Susan Crow with you, maybe, and they just didn't trust her?
Wow.
Maybe guilty by association. I don't know.
I had to think of something.
Back line. So
I really liked her suggestion.
I did too, yeah, I did too.
Well, facing 3 with her last, leading by 1, Casey Scheidegger.
Should be even straighter here than the turn they just threw.
Yeah, lost.
Clean, close. Whoa. Jesse, Jess, go. Go, Jess.
Jesse Hyan taking that leading edge, trying to carve it over now. Watch what happens though. Ooh, sit down. And did she just? It looks like it. Just
One
did.
yellow?
One yellow it is.
Oh, man, great shot.
One yellow.
To lead it by 2. Territories have last rock coming home. Two-point game as we come home here in 10. Territories, Kerry Galusha trailing, but does have the last rock. And it's a result of, you think back to what the call initially was earlier. McTaggart missed. Now she's facing 3. Scheidegger makes a lovely stone, a lovely shot here to make it a two-point game.
Well, any shot when you're looking at 3 is a key shot, and she throws the right weight on this. They pushed her to a different turn, which is always tricky. You had to get right to the nose.
And didn't roll too far, hung it on the edge for the single point. Key shot brought to you by World Financial Group, helping Canadians have better financial futures. So here we go. And up there's 2 long corners covering the 8. I mean, they are long. They are over in North Sydney. That's how long they are. And meanwhile, here's Scheidegger just piling them in.
Well, you're kind of handicapped with that 5 rock roll. You can't do anything about those rocks, even though the scoreboard says you have to do something with those rocks. most of the teams kind of pile them in, but that can hurt you too. They're not in very good angles for wild card here. You can nestle one in.
No, it has to curl still. No, it has to curl. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Team Canada Jennifer Jones pick up the win. A little more difficult than they expected. After scoring 5 in the first, 9-7 is your final as Nicole Baldwin from Whitehorse makes a great attempt to come back. But Jones now is 3-2, and Baldwin still looking for her first win.
Yep, solid. Yep.
Good.
Good, Jess.
Very good.
Three feet less?
Yeah.
You could also play the tap on that top yellow one. You'd stay frozen and tap, create a little bit of a wall
I think
too.
that's the best option, isn't it? Because going behind, it's useless.
Top 4. Let's extend down.
Go.
Brittany Tran.
Top 8.
Top 8. Wait only. Top 4.
Yes.
T.
You gotta go late. Hard. Yes.
Lots of weight.
Yes.
Lots of weight.
Yes. Go, Shauna. Go.
No, they're trying to freeze the back.
Yeah, go hard, Sarah. Right over.
Right back. Go. Okay.
Well, we had a tight game through the first 6, and then the questionable call by Carrie Galusha playing with stones wide, looking for a double, difficult double, crashed, and that set up the 3, and that's the difference in the game. And of course, Scheidegger with that last very nice hit and stick. It's Carrie Galusha, however, who is winning the battle of the skips. Game story brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada.
That's good. Same thing isn't bad. I was thinking just play this with board. Wiggle these around. Okay. Easy board. Nose.
I think this is fine.
I like that.
Board.
Yep. Oh, okay. Okay. You got it, Sarah. Right to your broom. It's good. Yep. Yep. Good.
More than board.
Solid board. 11. Yep. Hard.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Watch the yellow.
Goal in that pair, yeah.
That's fine. That's good.
Just
They
flop on
aren't
top
even
of ours.
timing the rocks.
No, they haven't timed anything.
They're-
Or has either of ours
unless
moved?
there's a,
Yeah.
it's frozen. It's probably frozen. The time is
Normal.
probably right.
Okay. Little flop your weight, Chris. Yep. Weight's good.
Carrie Ann McTaggart.
Hard, Jess.
You're still rolling. It's going to be perfect.
Had a girl.
And does well to avoid any kind of jam.
Had a girl, Jess.
We could just try to tap this back
Yeah, I
on the
don't
corner
think
and sit
that. How do
here.
Well, Prince Edward Island up by the 3. Kathy, this is the final stone
Try to bump this.
for Prince Edward Island. It does New Brunswick. It does have the hammer. So this will be Suzanne Burns.
And she's lining up that long double to make this game end right here.
Do you think that side one's in to sit 3?
I don't know.
It's close.
It is. And at a minimum, you get rid of those 2.
No.
Just back 4.
Yep. Yes. Woo. Yep.
Megan Hughes, Michelle McQuaid, Marie Christensen calling line. Bang. There now. You wonder. Now you wonder.
Well, you hit and hope.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to put a stick on it for sure.
And there's that roll underneath by Sarah Colton.
Yeah, it just curled on me a bit. I didn't expect it to curl.
10-5.
Yep. So what do you want to throw?
So
Andrea makes this pick. It's a measure to go for 12-12.
Uh-huh.
On the yellow.
Field goal to tie.
Here you go, Colton. And underneath.
That was a great shot by Sarah.
Is it ever?
Chance to jam it when you play this run.
10.
The danger here is you cannot roll to the outside and possibly touch your own.
Whoa, no, you're okay.
Sit there. Oh. Now, take that one away.
Like it looks as though
Yeah.
you can see white.
Okay.
But it's for sure worth a measure.
It touched it, but I don't know if it moved it out or
There you
just.
go.
Measure to see if it
So they'll measure. Here we go. Skip Stones in our feature. Casey Scheidegger. Run it back. Got it. Oh, she stuffed it.
The only thing you couldn't do.
No kidding.
Can you? So if this is in, they'll go an extra and also set a record
I
for
knew you were
most points
so
in a game.
excited about that.
So that looks in. Watch it. Does it touch it a little bit on the?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, just a little bit, maybe.
I don't know that it moved it though.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh. It's in.
It's in. Oh! Wow.
No.
I knew it was in, but I had to measure it because it was barely in. Like it was less.
So 24 points establishes a record.
Defensive struggle.
Pretty close on
After PEI stole 5 in the first.
That's insane.
Lots of room. Line
Up the bed.
No. Weight's perfect.
No, it's up.
No. Weight's good. Weight's good. You can't touch it.
Kalusha first.
No, it has to come
Trying
down.
to
We're bumping
corner
off of
freeze.
No, weight's perfect.
Oh,
Nice
look
carry,
at
Beauty.
that shot.
Goodness. She's curled really well.
She has. She's had a great game. She needs it all now.
Good. Beauty shot. Great throw there. Sarah. 14-5.
Time out. Just the same thing.
Yep. Are we rolling out?
Yep.
Okay.
They're going to concede the deuce?
They are.
Really?
You have to, Vic.
Okay.
There's no option.
Yeah, if you ever bounce off there.
All right. So make it go away. Give Galusha the draw for a 2. Go to an extra as well.
Hard! Roll, Jeff! Go, go,
And away it goes.
Nice. That was yours. Ding. Right on top is perfect. Same throw.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, could you ever play to that stone?
Yep. Yeah, you can.
could.
No, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
I think she just played a pass she just threw.
Let's go, Carrie. I have no idea how much time we actually have.
Yeah.
Like the draw?
Yeah. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, same shot. So right
You
to
just
the
threw it.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I wasn't down the middle. Oh, it's the same path.
Yeah, same path.
Yeah, let's go same. Okay, let's make it.
You got it, Care.
The line's really good. You've got a bit of backing off your own.
And she just threw that one too, so.
So sitting the 1.
I thought it was a little more weight.
I thought it
Looking
was
for
more.
the 2 to tie.
Let her know.
It's up a
And
bit.
force an extra end.
No, we're just.
You gotta go.
No, it's gonna curl.
Yeah, over curl.
Gotta believe
It
now.
has to come down though. Stop.
You might go through this
There
hole.
is the hole, though. Uh-oh. Watch out. Watch out.
got a shirt.
And through it goes.
One red, yeah.
Good game, girls.
It is 1 only. 2 to tie. You wonder if she was caught between playing to that back one or playing the corner freeze. It winds up, make the final 6 to 5 as Wild Card wins it to improve their record to 4-1. Kalusha is now 3-2. This record setter is in an extra. We'll have it for you when we come back.
The 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Scotties, Sponge Towels, Purex, and Cashmere. Proud sponsors of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts for over 35 years.
Well, it's a record setter. Previous high was 23 points combined. This is 24 points. And it started with 5, a steal of 5 for PEI. And here we are going to an extra tied at 12. New Brunswick comes in at 2-2. Andrew Crawford, Thistle St. Andrews in St. John playing the Redstones. Prince Edward Island, Suzanne Burt coming in with a record of 3-1. And it is PEI that does have the last rock here in this extra, playing the Yellowstone. So they have a couple of stones out in front. We're playing third rocks. This is Jill Babin from the Thistle St. Andrews.
7, 8. Really good. 8. Let us know when it starts
Pretty
to
nice
come.
setup here early for New Brunswick. They've got 2 guards. Well, the out turn's choked off.
Going hard. It's bending hard.
Okay. Yeah, but we're behind the tee.
Sit down.
Oh, you need this to come down.
And
Okay.
Sid it finally does, but back to the tee line.
Like just the front?
Could you run through the port there and get rid of everything, Cheryl?
Yeah.
I think you could.
Basically
like
through,
wiggle
eh?
through.
It's got to be
This
good,
one
though.
First. Okay. But right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want like
Just straight here.
just right up to the broom there. Stay.
Marie Christensen throwing the third stones.
Whoa, close though, whoa!
Former Nova Scotia junior champion, right in the middle. And no. We'll get rid of 2, but sit right there.
The wrong one first.
Yeah.
Makes the out turn pretty tough.
Yeah, you're forcing yourself just to one turn.
I like 3.
And when they take that away.
Remember in the 9th, Suzanne made 2 good come-arounds for a score of 2 here with the in-turn, but it can be blocked off here too.
Hold it, 3. Hold it. 2. Hold it, yep. Still a 2? Yep. 2, 3, no, we're 3. We're 3. Whoa, then.
Whoa.
Stop.
Beauty. Good, Jill. Nice shot.
When do you draw?
The red's the problem.
That looks says it all.
Maybe no.
Where this one is? I know. Yeah,
They're running it back?
Just peeling, I believe.
Oh, peeling? Okay.
Whoa, just clean.
Shell McQuaid on the left, Megan Hughes on the right.
Nice shot.
And away it goes.
Good.
Time out, yeah. Good.
Well, we don't need.
You're allowed 1 timeout
Like, I think.
in the extra.
I don't know if we go up front if she's drawn around, but if she did and she was deep, we
I
can
know,
still
then.
come on top of her.
What are you thinking? We come here, she comes around?
Well, and if she
Yeah.
does, though, and she's deep, like, we can still, but if she's not deep, we have nothing.
Is that
I don't
really
like
bad?
that now. Because
No.
I feel like we have to, like, hope she doesn't
Then if
make
she
it
comes right
perfect.
here, what do we do?
Run, nose run.
Then it's just gonna, yeah.
But, like,
Do we still go guard now?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and so if we guard, she comes around, I guess we run. I don't know.
If
I
we
mean,
can.
there is room.
There's no hole.
There's room.
I know, it just depends. It would be
Okay.
very.
It'll
yeah.
curl. It's definitely curl on this side.
Okay.
Okay,
I
let's
like
go where
this,
Jill's
guys.
was.
Okay.
My second one? Okay, I gotta come in tighter.
Yeah, we'll go top 4.
Yeah.
It's kind of like pick your poison here, because if you go short, which is what you're trained to do, that gives Suzanne this shot. If Suzanne makes it, Andrew's got a really tough one. But what do you do if you don't do that? Maybe you come here, Cheryl.
So 3?
Then maybe a double's
3?
made,
Yeah.
and it opens it all up for the PI's last shot.
Yeah,
I think you have to throw it short and hope, eh?
You do. I mean, those 2 stones behind the tee don't help you.
No.
I think you're
2, 3.
almost hoping a shot isn't made here, or
3.
kind of have to.
Hold it, Kate. Mine's good.
We're in the house.
Whoa, then, whoa. 3.
I think it's
In the
middle.
Really nice.
No, weight's close. Weight's good.
Yeah, it looks.
It's bending. Whoa.
Okay. It's really over curling.
Hit that squat then.
Just let it stop, I guess.
No, that's good. Nice.
Okay.
What do you like?
Yeah, it depends where it is. Yeah.
I think if Suzanne wants to just draw 10.
It's gone, but I know. She has.
She's coming.
If she comes there, and then what? Yeah. I think that's
I think
good,
you have
Suzanne.
to draw. You could look at the double peel, but she makes a really good one top, kind of
like
4
doing it
foot,
now.
and you've got no shot.
Plus the double peel might run that red into the ring somewhere. If it stops in front of the tee line, you're dead.
Well, you
Get
heard.
one in there.
I'm sorry. You heard Charlie Sullivan, New Brunswick coach, after they decide on the first rock of Crawford. What are you doing with your second one? Assuming that she peels. Well, I was going to come tighter.
Yes.
Top 8, top 4. Well, now if this is that decision. Do I go first? PEI's decided better get in there.
Smart call.
And what always tends to happen here is the brushers want to freeze it, and if you freeze it, there's room in front of the pin for Andrea Crawford to freeze and win the game. You have to keep this in front of the tee line somehow.
You saw that 73% on her draws.
Line's good, clean.
Line's good, easy, it's running.
Where?
Close.
No backing, guys, no backing.
PEI again coming in at 3-1, so trying to keep pace with the wild card. Scheidegger
Keep the line, Michelle, go,
winning
Michelle.
earlier to go to 4-1. And right to the corner. Now that little bit of over curl, though, gives you that.
That's exactly right. Really good throw, though. The weight was spot on. It curled a lot more than they thought it was going to. A little higher there, Cheryl, and Andrea's just about nothing.
Really good, right here. Just top button. Michelle, go a bit, Michelle. Keep the line, Michelle, go, Michelle.
Just for weight, just for line, just for line.
Michelle McQuaid
I know, you had to go for
Okay, good.
in a 4th appearance.
If Andrea goes beside it, can you tap it back far enough?
I'm thinking you need to kind of almost corner freeze it shot.
Right.
So not great numbers on her draws, and needs to be the shot rock now.
Lots of lines right now. Room.
In this record-setting game, where we're tied at 12, most points scored in a round-robin game.
Curl. I gotta take it, Kate. I gotta take it. Gonna have to curl.
Katie forward on the left.
Where is it?
Jennifer Armstrong got a curl now. Got to get over there and be the shot rock. And here it comes. Oh, it's found the hole, though. Oh, goodness, and it's gone that far. That little bit too far. And it is PEI. It is PEI that will pick up the win here in this extra. 13-12 is your final score. And so PEI, with that win, goes to 4-1. New Brunswick to 2-3. So in Pool B, as they only play the one today, wild card, Scheidegger, Lethbridge, Prince Edward Island on top of the table. Now with the territories, Saskatchewan and Team Canada, New Brunswick at 2-3. They will play 2 draws tomorrow. And then on the other pool, of course, Alberta is through to the championship round. They sit atop the table, 5 straight wins.
The 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by World Financial Group, helping Canadians have better financial futures. By Tim Hortons, official coffee of Curling Canada, and by Home Hardware. Here's how.
This is the best Scotties field I've seen in as long as I can remember. So should be a tough week, but a great week. You want to see the best teams and you want to beat the best teams in order to get to win a championship.
Just looking game by game, we want to win every game that we go out there and play. As many wins as we can get during the round robin and then into that second round. We just really want to give ourselves a chance to win a national title.
We're looking forward to this one when we join you again at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Chelsea Carey already knows she will advance to the championship round. Rachel Holman at 4-1, coming off a loss earlier today. If she wins tonight, that would put her through to the championship round. What a game. Holman, Carey, Ontario, Alberta, 6:30 Eastern Time this evening. That's when we join you again from here in Sydney, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship. It is the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and it's all right here on Canada's sports leader, TSN.